But you stay on hard.
All right. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the BCSN Sports Wrap. Alongside A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thank you for joining us tonight. The BCSN Sports Wrap, the longest running HBCU sports talk show on the interwebs, 9 seasons. Going on season number 10 coming up in the fall. Drew, how you feeling?
Feeling old, man.
Can't run the streets like you used to, bro.
Oh, yeah, bro. I can't drive I-85, I-20. To all of us in Atlanta, because I was gone for most of the weekend, but I had to drive back into this crap. What a nightmare, man. What a nightmare. Thank God they are smart enough to wait till after the World Cup to do any more road construction on I-285. Let me put this into perspective, Brian. The direct route from Atlanta to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was at this weekend, is up I-85 north. But because one of the members of our crew, our very own Ja Hobbs, lives in Columbia, South Carolina, I went down I-20 from Atlanta and then took 77 into Charlotte. Now, this morning, y'all checked out. Charles Ward, legendary play-by-play person, HBCU was with us. So he left about an hour before I did, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Roy, CEO of Black College Sports Network, and Ja rode with me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know I got home 30 minutes before them and they left an hour before me? Him and Shep.
Wait a minute. Who got home 30 minutes before who?
I left an hour. I left Charlotte an hour after Charles Ward and Mike Shepard.
And you got home 30 minutes
before because I went a different direction.
Ah.
And I went the long way on the map.
Is there Buc-ee's on the way? Did they stop at Buc-ee's or something?
They drove straight through. It just anti-traffic caught up with them.
That's wild.
That is wild. So it's been a mess in Atlanta this weekend. That's all I'm gonna say.
Is Atlanta ready for the World Cup? That's all I want to know.
Guess who won't know?
You don't plan on attending.
I'm going nowhere near the Benz.
Nowhere near downtown.
I'm not going to work on those days of the World Cup action because Morehouse is just outside of downtown.
Yeah,
1.2 miles from the Benz.
Do you happen to know any of the teams? Are there any of the? I mean, obviously they say all the games are going to be packed regardless of who's there.
That's what they say because they're trying to get y'all to buy those tickets. And the people who are suffering the most, Brian, are the Airbnb people.
Why?
Because the Airbnb prices have come down to regular prices. Regular Airbnb prices. You know, they had those premium Airbnb prices for trying to get people, you're gonna be in town for a month, assume you're gonna be in town for a month. So Some people rather stay in a house than stay in a hotel for a month, which I totally understand.
Yeah.
But you know,
So
it
market correction, the market has come back down to what it, and so instead of, so basically the Airbnb people were trying to upcharge.
oh yes, they were gouging. They wouldn't
Yeah.
upcharge. They were
Well, good.
gouging.
Good. Good. I'm glad to see that the market is not allowing for that. Very, two very interesting things are happening right now in sports. And you just spoke to one of them happening in Atlanta, the price gouging going on, right?
Yeah.
Going on. And then, of course, hearing what the various costs are. Like, there have been stories a couple months out about how much it's going to cost to park in like the Meadowlands, just, some of the pricing that is happening in places that have the World Cup. And it's like, these are, so you're overcharging, you're upcharging by 200 and 300% for this event. Parking, public transportation, obviously, God help you if you're doing ride sharing. Who knows what that's going to look like. But then you also mentioned the
Y'all better learn how to get a MARTA pass if you're in Atlanta. I don't know about any other city.
Well, has MARTA upped the pricing on
MARTA is free right now.
Okay, well, there you go.
Due to a oops on their part, because they were supposed to upgrade their systems and everything. They were not put in by June 1. So MARTA is free right now.
Well, that Atlanta seems to be working. Atlanta seems to be working on behalf of the people. And yes, good to see that the Airbnbs are back to normal pricing after they realize they can't. And then the other thing that's happening is what's happening in Madison Square Garden at where they are charging the price of some people's salaries, Drew. There are people in some professions that maybe make less than $50,000. That would equate to 2 tickets to Game 3 or Game 4 of the NBA Finals, depending upon where you're trying to sit. I mean, the resale cost for tickets in New York are outrageous. Now, speaking as somebody who doesn't make the kind of money to spend half a year's salary for 3 hours of pleasure, I'm not in that tax bracket. I'm not in that income level yet. So to me, I'm aghast that anybody would, possibly spend their life savings for that. But then again,
it's a once in a lifetime opportunity if you're a Knicks fan, because it's the first time in your lifetime, first time in my memorable lifetime,
that they legitimately will win. I have said it here, and this is painful as an anti-Knicks backer. They're going to win this series. It's just a matter of, will it be a sweep or will they win it in 5? I think a sweep is coming, Drew. I don't know how they're going to get. I don't know how the Spurs are going to get out of the way of it. But
you know what this reminds me of, Bryan?
What?
1994. 2 teams making the finals for the first time: Houston Rockets, Orlando Magic.
That was 95.
Was that 95?
That was 95. 94 was 94 was the Knicks and Rockets.
Yes. Okay. 1990. Yeah. 94
that one went
OJ
7.
Year.
That was
7. The OJ year.
Yes, that went 7, and the Knicks should have won that when they had the chance, but they blew it.
But it kind of reminds me of 95 with the Rockets, the more veteran club, i.e., the New York Knicks, and the team that was there ahead of schedule, i.e., the Orlando Magic, with, at that point in time, the most dominant big man in the game.
Yeah.
So now, fast forwarded 31 years, the veteran New York Knicks and the Spurs, who are probably a year ahead of schedule. Now,
Yeah.
the thing was, the Magic never made it back.
Yeah, they did. They
Not
did in
with that, not
22.
with that
Not
group.
with that group. Not with
Not
that
with that
group.
group.
Not with that group.
Not with that group.
Right. That's why. Look, that's why. It pained me last year as a Pacer fan watching last year. Right, two
Because I think they were a
teams.
year ahead of schedule.
We were a year ahead of schedule. Many people might think the Thunder were a year ahead of schedule. I don't know, but whatever that means. But when you're in the moment and you have a chance to win, you better win it, because there's no guarantee that you'll get back. There's no guarantee, right? And so I just look at Coach Green says a sweep's not going to happen. I don't know what. If the Spurs would have found a way to win, they were supposed to win game 2. They were supposed to win game 1, honestly. They blew it. They were supposed to win game 2. I just don't know how now you're going to walk into the most electric environment in sports on Monday night will be in New York, even with the president being in the building and all that issue and the fact that, some of the outside the stadium festivities won't be able to happen.
Will he try to rename it the Trump Madison Garden?
Jesus, that guy, if they win, he'll take credit for it. I know he will. But no, man, I just they're playing well. And yes, I mean, they've won. They haven't lost since April, Drew. They went a month and a couple of weeks since they have lost.
About 6 weeks.
That's crazy.
I see Coach Green in the chat. As a basketball coach, you would love to have one of those, wouldn't you?
We will be talking about. I'm just sick to my stomach that the Knicks and this team potentially are right on the pedestal with the 83 Sixers, that 2017 Warriors, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, the second year that they went to the finals. I think that was the year where they only lost like 1 or 2 games. I mean, but some of these really epic story teams. I mean, this team is going to be in the conversation with all of them. Yeah, exactly. And shout out to shout out to Mike Brown, Coach Mike Brown, Drew, a guy who was. Look, everywhere he's gone, he makes money, but then he gets unceremoniously tossed to the side after like 1 or 2 years. And really, it's not like some of the the dismissals you really can't say were all because of him. Like circumstances, like when he was in where was it? When he was out on the West Coast. Where was he at on the West Coast?
Was it the Clips?
Sacramento. I think he was Sacramento. Yeah, I mean, that organization sucked. And he was set up to try to quote unquote rebuild a bad franchise with bad players. Yeah, good luck with that.
Don't forget he was in Cleveland.
After LeBron left. Right. After LeBron left?
I thought he caught part of LeBron.
I don't know.
I thought he was pre-Ty Lue. I thought they fired him for Ty Lue.
Yes, maybe right. But again, he was in a no-win situation. I mean, he then he comes into this job with the Knicks, and he's faced with one ultimatum: get us to the finals. Hey, Mike Brown, we're going to pay you, but you got one job: get us to the finals.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, he was okay. He was LeBron's coach, and then LeBron left him. And then I think he was around for the year after, who was supposed to win after that, right? So, I mean, come on, man. It was, you know what? It was the other guy. It was the European guy who was there, I think, for a minute when LeBron first came back to Cleveland. And then that's when Ty Lue took over. So, I mean, look, Mike Brown, kudos to you, man. You found a way to be a part of the Golden State Warriors staff, and then now here with the Knicks, and everything seems to be going right. And so I don't know. The only thing that can derail this is Trump's visit. If this is the reason the Knicks lose, I will laugh for eternity. If they lose because of the Trump jinx of him coming to, like, if they were to lose, like, it's never been done, like the 0-2 by the road team. It's they've won. Let me see. What were the two teams they mentioned? It was the Rockets. And then there was one other team that won on the road 0-2 and then ended up winning.
No, you mean at home? The Portland Trailblazers, wasn't it?
No, Portland has never won a title.
Yes,
well, they have, but that was Bill Walton.
That was Bill Walton. But they were down 0-2 to the Sixers and beat the Sixers in 6.
But were they on the road the first 2
I don't
games?
remember. I know they were down 0-2 in that series.
Oh, it was 2 teams. It was the Rockets, and it was somebody else. It was more recent. It was more recent. Anyway, you guys in the chat may know who it is, but anyway, looking forward to seeing how that plays out. I just finished, speaking of professional sports, I just saw the whole ending to the UFL game, the number 1 seed Orlando Storm losing to the DC Defenders. Now get this, Drew. For the 3rd consecutive week, they had to play the Defenders. Like, now, take note that this was the first week of the playoffs in the UFL.
Wait, so that means 3rd consecutive week?
That means the last 2 weeks of the regular season, somehow the scheduling people had it worked out.
Up big time.
Yeah, somehow the DC Defenders ended up playing the Storm the last 2 weeks of the regular season.
Was there like a scheduled mishap?
You know what? I don't think so. I'm not aware that there was.
Stadium availability or something?
Not those previous 2 weeks. Like, one was a road game, one was a home game. But they had them back-to-back weeks. And so the Storm beat them in those 2 games. And then guess who you end up playing in the first round of the playoffs? That same team. And come on, you know the cliche. It's hard to beat a team
3 times, especially 3 times in a row.
Look, and that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. With some, I don't know, the number 1 team in the UFL, the Orlando Storm, ends up losing. So anyway, DC Defenders got a chance to defend their title. Appreciate, yes, RB Parker. Appreciate you. Yes, it was the 93 Bulls. Was it the 90? Was that the 90? It was the Bulls and the Barkley. It was Barkley and Jordan.
93.
Okay. The 93 Bulls went on the road because Barkley and the Suns were the top team. And the Bulls went on the road, won the first 2 games. And I think that series actually went 6 games, surprisingly. Because I think the Bulls.
It did, because they never went 7.
Yeah, the Suns ended up winning game 3 in Chicago. And then the Bulls won game 4. Then it went back to Phoenix. Phoenix won. So it was 3-2 going back to Chicago. Chicago won. And that was the 3-peat year. That was the 3-peat year, if I'm not mistaken. So RB Parker, correct me. Let me know if I got that. If I got that, you might be a Bulls fan or a Suns fan, but you might. There you go. Keith. Well, don't trust teams from Orlando. Well, don't trust teams from Orlando that have to travel to Daytona Beach for their home playoff game. Thanks.
They don't have a home stadium because
exactly.
of the World Cup.
Thanks, World Cup, for that. But anyway, hey, shout out to Bethune-Cookman. They got some much needed time there on the end zone scoreboard. So yeah, we'll see. But Tennessee State's Chris Rowland caught a 40-yard touchdown pass that had me all excited right before the game. I thought the comeback was a reality when he caught that pass. So, but anyway, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to catch you up on the past week. no shortage of news from the past week in HBCU sports since we were on the air last Sunday. And in hour number 2, we're going to finish with our next set of 5 from our top 25 stories of the academic year. Just to recap, stories that were 25 to 21, just in case you might have missed last week's show or you didn't catch the news, let me try to pull it up here as I pull up the list. Number 25, the story was from the year Florida A&M golf winning the PGA Works College Championship and the other Black College Invitational teams is sort of the top golf team. Number 24 was the Red Lobster Band of the Year, in which Southern University won, and just all of the stuff that went on around that, teams opting out of being considered, that kind of thing. Story number 23 was the multiple HBCU basketball teams from the Division II level earning NCAA bids, especially schools from the CIAA and the SIAC. Number 22, Larry Dixon of Morehouse and his first year success. Well documented. You can go to morehouseathletics.com to read more about that in case you missed it. And story number 21 was the Unified Black College Football Poll Initiative. Of course, it was now announced that there's going to be a unified poll, although we don't know if that poll does include North Carolina A&T, Tennessee State, and Hampton. That part we're still unsure about. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But we do have stories 20, 19, 18, 17, and 16 for you this week. 21 is too high. Now, is too high meaning, do you mean too high or too low? What do you mean there, Steve? Where would you put that story then, Steve? If you say 21 is too high, is it a top 10? Nice catch there, Keith. The BCSN has a poll. You know what? I guess we do. Although, over here, we like to call it a ranking. So there we go. Steve said it would be 25 at best. Well, okay. Wait till we get to some of these stories, and we'll see where you think some of these new stories are again. So top stories of the year. But let's jump right
tried
into,
to be fair with everybody's story.
Well, I don't know about fair, but we try to do something. We can't please everybody because some of y'all just can never be pleased. So it is what it is. Well, one of the big stories that came out, Drew, a day after we we closed out, was the news that was reported, and shout out to I first saw it on Game Day, HBCUGameday.com. There's a story even on HBCU Sports, the Tennessean. So I don't know who gets credit. I think maybe the Tennessean is the one that maybe gets the first dib at it. But the story came out on Monday that Tennessee State Athletic Director Dr. Mickey Allen was subject to a no-confidence letter signed by 6 Tennessee State head coaches, according to a report in the Tennessean. Amazing, right? 4 of those 6 coaches, Drew, are coaches that he hired. The letter, which was sent to University President Dwayne Tucker, on May 29th, so that was going into the weekend, had signatures from men's basketball coach Nolan Smith. I know he, in fact, was a hire of Allen. It was his first year, took the team to the tournament. Women's basketball coach Candace Dupree. I'm not really sure how long she'd been there, so maybe somebody in the chat can tell me. Football coach Reggie Barlow. I know he was a hire because I think this was his first year. Track coach Chandra Cheeseborough.
She's been there forever.
Yeah, she was not one of his hires. She's a legend. Had a chance to meet her at the Morehouse Relays. Volleyball coach Danica Sutton and softball coach Jenny McRath. Those were the 6 coaches. Okay. Steve said women's basketball was his hire. So basically 4 of the 6 were his hire. Now, again, what I found fascinating, the concerns, several of them ranging from inconsistent communication, lack of operational transparency, uneven allocation of resources and support among programs, lack of clear departmental vision, structure, and accountability. And I ran across a very, very good podcast, which I know we shared, but it was from some Tennessee State alums. I believe it was called the Uproar. And if you guys, I believe you can look them up on YouTube. But, sometimes if you think about the way we do things on the ONG, where we are talking strictly about FAMU things because we are connected with that community, these guys were very connected to the Tennessee State community. They're alums. They're members of, whether it be former football alums, former coaches there, members of the Alumni Association, leaders, people who other people listen to or other people go to with questions. They, guys who get interviews or get conversations in the room with the AD or the president or coaches, right? And I kept thinking, Drew, how bad must it be to write that letter and put your signature on it to your boss? Or actually, no, you're sending a letter to your boss's boss about the guy who hired you in the case of 4 of them. Right? That's how bad it is. I think, when we go back and look at like stories of the year, based on what happens, I don't know what's going to happen, but this potentially might end up being one of the stories of 2026. Drew, what are your thoughts on the story?
It's an unfortunate situation. Look, for both entities, you're almost at the point of no return there. Because if you are the subordinate and you out your boss like this, put it in paper and send it to media. This did not stay with HR. This became public. So when you make that decision to go public, one or 2 things is going to happen. Somebody will not be there soon. Now, they can't retaliate against you. They can't. But, obviously, there may be some type of quote unquote code violation that you have as far as putting this stuff out in public. But the allegations are serious enough where the people internally have to investigate these allegations. And probably they don't go public with this without discussing this privately first. You don't go
Oh,
public unless you feel like you're not getting the action that you need from the people internally. And now you have to force people's hands. Now, when it's all said and done, things like this, somebody's going to get thrown under the bus. Somebody's going to fall on the sword. We shall have to wait and see what it is, but it's unfortunate for a school that this over the last 5 years they've had their fair share of issues, and I would not just talking about on the athletic side, Brian. I mean, basically the state has pretty much taken over, wiped the whole board away. You know, there was one point in time talking about Tennessee State was in financial trouble, but they're probably down over 1,000 students at this point in time from a couple of years ago, and that definitely affects your athletic budget because now you're not getting that student activity fee for those 1,000 plus students that you are down. But at the same time, at the administration, and I'm talking athletic administration and university administration, have to realize we are in changing times. The demands of these students now, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you would have laughed at. And did you see yesterday's Carlos Brown show?
I produced it. Yeah, I saw
Okay,
it.
produced it. Obviously, you saw it. And I love and respect Wheeler Brown to death. But and I mentioned it, I put it in the chat a couple of times. Wheeler, that old mentality, and not calling him old, but the mentality of yesterday that he may have does not work today. Because
What specifically are you referring to?
when
What are you
when we
saying
were
doesn't work?
discussing when they were discussing the N, NIL component and and the freedom of movement and everything that's related around that, and the ass that these kids, outrageous ass that these kids come with now. And when I say outrageous, they're outrageous to your generation and my generation, Brian, to our generation. These are not outrageous for these 18 to 22-year-olds, what they are asking. And the crazy thing is, somebody is giving it to them. Well, say, well, they asked for this.
Well,
And but my point being, Brian, us understanding in administrative positions that this is not the institution that we grew up with. This is not the times are not when we went to school. Things are different. The ask are different. You know, everything that we need to support these kids is totally different now, and we have to evolve. And there are too many people in these positions who refuse to evolve because realistically, Brian, they know they're not going anywhere because they may be tenured or long time employees or whatever. They feel they don't have to change.
well,
And these and with these coaches on the front line, let me finish it off with this. With these coaches on the front line having to deal with this, the coaches are frustrated because their bosses are not giving them enough tools in their toolbox to deal with today's athlete. That's what a lot of this comes down to, Brian.
the communication aspect of having a plan and a vision. You want look again. The front line are the coaches. The coaches are talking to the athletes and the parents and the families, right? And so you're asking me to go into these homes and bring these kids to Tennessee State University. And what is it they're going to receive when they come here? Education is great. But the reality is so many are looking for more than just an education. So either we're going to do one or two things. If that's the only thing we're telling them, okay, but then what you're asking me to do, you might have to shift my goalpost, right? If you're asking me to win the OVC, if you're asking me to win 8-9 games a year, that goalpost may have to change because I'm not getting not the cream of the crop. I'm not getting the best of the second level. because the second level top guys, gals, they're seeing NIL from other mid-major programs. I'm not even talking about, okay, we're not even talking about the top level programs. We're talking mid-majors. So among mid-majors, what are you offering? What are we offering? And it sounds like Tennessee State is having a problem that many other schools are out there having in terms of what are you offering? What is the vision? What is the plan? You know, I mean, we've seen schools do things to help supplement cost of things that go towards NILs and revenue shares, right? And I think when you hear those allegations and you read that and you say that, okay, you're not giving us a plan. Remember, don't forget, why did Eddie George? Remember, Eddie George left.
He said this was a dying conference.
Eddie George is from Nashville.
But no, he's not from Nashville. He played in Nashville and stayed.
But meaning when he came to Tennessee State, he's from that area. He's living in that area. He established home businesses in Nashville.
Yes.
As a destination job. He wasn't looking to go elsewhere. But I mean, when he started to see that ship falling apart, he got out of Dodge. Don't forget, who was the former basketball coach before Nolan got there? What was it? Penny Collins? Didn't he upgrade to another school? He too left. So the writing was on the wall, and those guys must have really felt like, I mean, again, people you hired. So they agreed to come work at your university because you sold them on a vision. And after just 1 year for the football and basketball coach, they write a letter to the president. If anybody's name, those two names in particular, right? Because, and think about where they come from. Nolan is new to college coach. Well, not new, but he's new as a head coach. I mean, Nolan is going somewhere. He will eventually be a head coach at a power program, right? Barlow, former NFL player. You know, he's got credentials coaching at a professional level. He's seen what it's supposed to look like when it's done right. I just, you know, we talk about where this thing's going to go. I mean, I'm going to call it. I'm going to call my shot. You know how I like to do these things, Drew? You know, I don't like to see any, but I feel like if most schools' academic budgets begin July 1, I got to think by the end of the month, somebody's resigning. I don't know if it's going to be a firing or if it's going to be like, well, I'm going to ask that you resign. You know, we may see one of those things, but somebody's going to resign. And it's either going to be the president siding with the athletic director, who he didn't hire. Now, that's another thing to consider. And listening to the uproar, the president, they said that the president knew of some of the issues that folk, I don't know who those folk were, maybe coaches or other people, had with Dr. Allen, right? So that was already out there. So now he has to decide, okay, do I get my own AD to come get this ship fixed? And I don't, somebody correct me in the chat. I don't know if the president is an interim. It sounded like he was an interim replacing a previous interim. So he may be faced with some issues as to whether he can actually bring in a new AD. It's such a major story. And at the end of the day, who's hurt by all of this, Drew? Student athletes. Because now the ones who are being recruited by Tennessee State, you got to wonder, hey, is my coach going to be there? You know, what's the probability of my football or basketball coach being there? Should I make the commitment when they're publicly saying all of the things that are wrong? Why should I go there? It's a fascinating story, and I hate it for my sister's alma mater. But I mean, in talking to her, there's been issues. The disconnect between athletics and alumni is quite evident when you look at attendance for football games. There's a disconnect, and I don't know if it has this may be the straw that breaks the camel's back, I guess, to use that pun, if I'm using that pun correctly. Yeah. What do we got in the comments, Drew? Anything good happening in the chats? Anybody with any interesting thoughts or comments about it?
Fangs up. Keith says he came after a president that left with questions being asked about hers. Yeah, so yeah, you are right. There may be. I know there's been a couple of issues on the presidential level there at Tennessee State, and not to mention the things that have gone on with the board over the last couple of years. Also,
that part too.
And it's kind of tough when your leadership, your visionaries, which are the board, have been unstable, and you also have the pressure of what's happening in the Tennessee legislature. I mean, they've already shown their colors by what they're trying to do with the maps in Memphis. So there's a lot going on here, and there may be a lot more than what we're even talking about on the surface that may be underlying factors to this, Brian.
I tell you, keep giving them folks reason. They don't need much, but they keep. I tell you what, man, you keep giving them folks reasons to want to come take your university. And so it'll be interesting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you brought up the board of trustees that got replaced a couple years ago. I think that was just within a couple years ago. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening right now. It's funny you mentioned that, Keith, because as I was listening to that podcast, wow, I was thinking about Florida A&M as I was listening to it, and I was like, wow, how far are we away from that?
Not far.
Not too far. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but
and Brian, I hate to say this, and Tennessee State may not be the only school that has issues like this. Now, not publicly like this, but every department, most departments have some type of trepidation within their department where people feel like they're being slighted on and everything like this. I've just never seen this come out publicly like this. Like I said on Dr. Cavill, I can only think of one other time, Brian, when I've seen a department rebel like this, and that went back to COVID.
What's your example?
I'm not going to talk about it publicly, but if you think back to your Wayback Machine,
it involved a school?
Involved a school and their athletic department rebelling against the athletic director at a particular institution back during COVID.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, you guys throw your guesses in the chat room of what Drew's talking about, because I'm clueless. but that's it's fascinating, interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good point. There's a couple other stories. I mean, there's so many different stories out there that we could go to. Let me go to what's next on the agenda in terms of stories wise. That happened Monday, and I'll tell you, is it me or I feel like the streets have been real quiet about this. But anyway, I know there's stuff going on. Yeah, this is a great point, EA. It does become one of those things that is a tough spot to be in because you hear about these close networks among administrators, and this could go, again, I don't know about so I think some of those coaches are cemented enough that like Coach Cheeseborough, cemented. You're not going, Coach Barlow, cemented. But for a guy like Nolan, I gotta imagine that Nolan had to. I would think that if you were Nolan, you would like go to Coach K and consult with Coach K to be like, hey, Coach, this is what's going on. Should I sign my name to this? Because that point that you bring up, EA, is huge. Because now you're a part of this story. And yes, the whole point of it getting to the Tennessean, somebody leaked it. Who knows who? Somebody needed it to get public in order for the pressure to be amped up. It's almost like, hey, we tried to have meetings and they kept canceled. It's like we kept trying to have meetings.
Somebody on vacation. Somebody got called into another meeting.
Somebody's doing this. Somebody's doing
Brian
that.
didn't get on the Zoom or whatever it is.
Scheduled for next week. We done tried like 4 or 5 times to have a meeting with you. Okay, now we got to go to the next step.
Yeah, you at a conference at a training.
Something came up. Something always comes up when we try to have this conversation.
This teams meeting or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But but I want to go back to that point that who was that EA brought up. Yeah, when you are a coach, you have to think about this.
Yeah.
And you have to think about now you are labeled. So the next athletic director that looks at you for a position, can I trust you? But let's flip that. As the coach, do I trust you as the athletic director to have the best interests of my program and these student athletes that I serve? So it goes both ways, Brian.
Right. Are you going to do some of the things that you said you were going to do?
Right. And coaches ask for the universe.
Sure.
But they settle for the stars.
Yeah.
If you understand that analogy, they want everything. They give them what you can, but when you're not even leaving the ground, Brian, as these coaches have indicated, and the concerning thing with me was the stuff that could be potentially Title IX related. When you look at some of this stuff with the uneven allocation of everything, especially the women's coaches signing off on this, that's not a good sign.
This is a great question here by Arby Parker. Tennessee State did opt out. I'm reading a report here that they opted out of the NCAA House settlement. And according to this article I'm reading, this says every other program in the Ohio Valley Conference, including Tennessee Tech and UT Martin, officially opted into the settlement. Tennessee State was the lone conference exception. So Tennessee State was bound by the traditional scholarship limits rather than transitioning to the new sport-specific roster limits. So there you go. So,
And that may be part of the coach's frustrations. We're not competing on the even playing field.
and the vision of saying, how are we going to get there? If everybody else in our conference is at doing this, what are we going to do to get there? So, I mean, that's a lot of layers to peel back. Again, I'm going to encourage you to go check out the Uproar. You can do a YouTube search and find it. Those brothers did a great job. I really enjoyed learning more because, like I said, you know, I'm not in that house. We're looking at it from a global HBCU sporting diaspora perspective. But to get the real inside, go listen to those guys. They are connected. They are there. They're in it, and they can tell you way more about it than Drew and I. So encourage you to go find them. Drew, before we go to break, I got one other story because this happened last night, and I figured we'd get it in before it's too late. And I got a graphic for you. So I wanted to get that in. These are the men that are part of the 2026 Black College Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which was held yesterday at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, Georgia. Last night, it was the 17th annual induction ceremony. Again, the Black College Football Hall of Fame has only been around 17 years, folks. So, you know, and right now they're only catching guys in the late 90s and early 2000s along with legends. So, you know, be patient when you drop those comments and say, man, you should have been in a long time ago. I mean, come on now. I mean, we're talking over 100 years.
And we're not even a generation old.
Right. You know, it's 100 years of Black college football, and this is just the 17th class. And they only take in, what? This year there were
I see 8 on the dais.
4 players, 1 coach, and 1 contributor. So those inductees were Alabama State head coach Eddie Robinson Jr., who also was a former player at Alabama State.
I think that's how he got in.
Oh, yes. He got yes. He did get in as a player, yes. Fort Valley State great Tyrone Poole, who was a defensive back. Shout out to Poole, went to play for my Colts. Former Bethune-Cookman Wildcat.
Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute. And Bryan, and is the current flag football coach at Alabama State.
Who, Nick Collins?
No, Tyrone Poole.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Okay, good ad. Then you had Nick Collins of Bethune-Cookman, defensive back, I believe, also played in the NFL. Eddie Robinson, all these guys played in the NFL, by the way. Jimmy Smith, wide receiver from Jackson State University, also was famously with the Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars in their early years with Mark Brunell and Keenan McCardell. Those were good teams, really good teams. Then you also had legendary Florida A&M coach Rudy Hubbard is the lone coaching honoree. Of course, Coach Hubbard led the Rattlers to the first, at that time it was called the and only, yep, led him to the first 1AA NCAA national championship. Of course, 1AA would become now known as FCS, is the only HBCU to ever win a national championship at that level, that NCAA recognized level, and that was the first year. And of course, Hubbard also, I believe he had a team that the following year would beat Miami in '79 in one of the seminal moments that kind of help wake up the Miami Hurricanes and let them know that, hey, we got to be better. We're losing to FAMU. You know, Howard Schnellenberger changed the program around after that game. And then, of course,
so FAMU born. So the Miami dynasty was born out of FAMU.
Right. FAMU birthed the Miami University dynasty. Exactly. That's a good way to spin it, Drew. I love that.
And here we go, Brian.
And then, well, again, no, he shouldn't have been in the first class because don't make me go and tell you who the first class was now. Come on, Emmett, stop it. I love Coach Hubbard. Saw him one of the last 2 times I was in Tallahassee. But no, they're again, Coach Hubbard coached in the 70s. There were guys who were if you wanted him in the first class and you're saying that guys like Eddie Robinson and Jake Gaither should not have been in on the first ballot. I mean, come on now, stop it. I appreciate you looking out though, Emmett. And then let me get to the last person who was part of the class. Howard University alum and longtime media contributor Steve Weish, who is inserted as a contributor. Of course, Weish works for the NFL Network. He's done play-by-play for football games, for HBCU Go. And been a real strong advocate through the Legacy Bowl, the Black College Football, and been a real strong advocate for HBCUs at the NFL level. Thoughts on this class, Drew?
Great deserving class. Obviously, there are more out there who deserve their opportunity to get in and will one day get in. Tyrone Poole, great guy, nice, soft-spoken guy, despite the wood that he would lay when he was playing ball and everything. I've had the pleasure of working with Poole on some broadcasts before. Eddie Robinson, obviously, everything that he did with the Oilers and at Alabama State. Rudy Hubbard, I mean, what can you say? Jimmy Smith, I mean, he was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Brunell and all those guys. So he was a beast, man.
It made me, Emmett's comments made me go look on the website. Black College Football HOF.org is the site. The first class was in 2010.
Stop it, Steve.
What he say? I don't know. I'm reading the article, so I'm not really seeing what he's saying. You'd have to win a Celebration Bowl to get in, wouldn't you?
It helps.
It helps, huh? Okay. But had he won a Celebration Bowl, some of y'all would have put him in there. I know that.
Longevity.
I don't know. If you'd have won a Celebration Bowl, Drew, some of them folks from Mississippi, they would have put him in there.
But he didn't, so.
Okay, so we can move forward. Yeah.
We can move on.
Okay. Members of the class of 2010, just in case you forgot. Players. Running back from Jackson State.
Walter Payton.
Running back from Tuskegee. Let me see if you know this. It's old school. This throwback. This way back.
You got me on this one.
Ben Stevenson.
All right.
running back from Florida A&M. Throwback. Willie Gallimore. Defensive lineman from Grambling. Come on now. Buck Buchanan.
The Buck Buchanan Award.
Fullback from Grambling, a.k.a. the Tank. Paul Younger. Defensive lineman from Jackson State. Used to take people to church on Sundays. Would slap you across the head if you weren't right.
Not Bubba.
Not Bubba. The other one. David Deacon Jones.
Deacon, that's right. Deacon Jones.
Greatest wide receiver.
Jerry
Rice. Linebacker from Morgan State.
New York Giant. Carson. Was it Carson?
No, Willie Lanier.
Willie Lanier. No, he played in Maryland Eastern Shore. I'm tripping.
No, this says Morgan State.
No. Carson played in Maryland Eastern Shore. That's what I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
The two greatest coaches in Black college football. Just mentioned them earlier.
Gaither.
Yeah.
And
come on now.
Eddie Robinson.
Come on, Rattler.
Eddie Robinson and Gaither.
Yes. And then of course, one of the great contributors from the journalistic side, instrumental in promoting Black college football.
Pittsburgh Courier.
Uh-huh.
I can't think why is his name escaping me?
Bill Nunn. That was the inaugural class. Now again, talk about how hard it must have been to put those names together for the inaugural class, right? And that's leaving off people who made the second class, right? That's leaving off people like Willie Jeffries, Art Shell, Earl Banks, Willie Davis, Lem Barney, Mel Blunt. Those are just Doug Williams, Bob Hayes. Those are names.
He starts the Hall of Fame and he can't get in the first class.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But he will probably tell you, and that just goes to show, like, when you think about how deep how deep it is, how deep that roster is, right? It's hard. So,
and let's put a pin in the Black College Hall of Fame because we got some more Black College Hall of Fame related news coming up later.
Later, you just want to spin it forward and talk about it since we're kind of transitioning.
Let's go to the break and we can come back on that one.
All right, Drew, you love taking breaks. All right, we'll take a break, but we'll, as Drew said, we'll tease it out and come back and talk about a Black College Football Hall of Fame event that's making some changes. So we'll give you the tease on that, and when we come back from the break, we'll spin it forward. And we'll get into a few other stories, including an interesting investigation into gambling.
I got HBCU 5 on it, Brian.
Well, just as long as you're not at a certain school, don't do that. They may not look too favorably upon that. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8888 800-828-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. Brian Fulford and A.D. Drew here with you. Drew, my guy Keith asked, put a great question there in the chat. Pull that up. What modern coaches make it to the Black College Football Hall of Fame? Ooh, modern coaches. I'm seeing the first one, D-Lob came in and said Chinnis Berry. I would definitely agree to that. I think Willie Simmons will get some love into the Black College Football Hall of Fame as a coach. Buddy Pugh, Buddy Pugh, definitely, even though he recently retired.
Yeah, whatever the wait is, he'll probably have to get if it's 5 years, probably right after that 5 year.
You know, I think what'll be interesting is the longevity of a coach is so different these days. I mean, for example, Willie Simmons coached, 3 years at Prairie View, 5 or 6 years at Florida A&M. So that's a total of 9.
24, I believe.
Yeah, that's about 6. So he's got a decade, 1 decade in HBCU. Chinnis Berry has only been doing it as a head coach for 5 years. But what he has done in 5 years is like, whoa. So I mean, if you see Chinnis Berry doing what he has done in 5 years, in another 5 years,
another championship he's a lock.
I will agree with RB says TC Taylor's a young guy who's trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I think he needs another championship also to make him a lock.
Well, and that's
in today's modern way.
Is it championship or years? Championships or years?
Wait, I mean, you still have to get the years in.
Minimum is what? How many years minimum?
I think you need at least 10 years as a coach.
At any HBCU?
Yes. Combined. Not necessarily,
no, I agree.
Not necessarily singular.
I agree. Combined.
But combined. TC probably needs at least one more SWAC championship, along with another two SWAC championships or one Celebration Bowl championship. I think gets TCE, and same thing with Chinnis. 2 more BACs or
regular season championships count.
Yeah.
Divisions count.
No, you got to
count divisions.
No,
I mean that gets you to the championship game, though. Drew.
I know it, and it helps.
How about Fred McNair?
He did get some SWAC championships.
Thank you. Yeah, Fred McNair.
Yeah.
I mean, but
even
though he didn't win a Celebration Bowl,
but he is missing the one big one.
But his longevity, though, is years as a head coach. He's got what?
But let's stop, Brian. Fred was not the architect of those first couple of Alcorn teams. He was an assistant.
Okay, but
I think he only has 2 of them of those SWAC championships as a head.
Is that accurate? I mean, how many did they?
They won like 4 in a row.
Okay, so what? Fred got 2, Hobson got 2?
I believe so.
And Fred didn't win any more after that?
No. After that run Alcorn was on.
How about
3 or 4? Because I know for a couple of years there consecutively, it was Alcorn and A&T in the Celebration Bowl. I know 2 years consecutively.
Let's see. I'm looking it up now. Let's see. McNair as a coach, 5 SWAC East Division titles, 2 SWAC titles.
Yeah.
So no, he was a part of. They won 6 years in a row.
So Hobson only got 1. So it was 3 in a row, and Hobson got the first one. That's what it was.
And then he won 4 in a row as a head coach, though, Drew.
4 divisions.
4 divisions
and 2 SWACs.
Right.
Because they won the first on-campus championship.
Correct.
First 2, if I remember correctly.
And the thing is, it's been his only head coaching job, though. I mean, because he's only been, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 7 seasons. We're not going to count that, whatever that was at Southern. We're not going to count that. But that's 7 full seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Willie's he's less than 10, but only by a blip.
Right. But I think, Brian, like in the case with Willie and in the case with Fred, you can trade some of that for the longevity as an assistant coach.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with this one right here. Yeah, Connell Maynard, definitely Hall of Famer.
As a player, as a coach.
Coach, come on, Drew. Don't forget about what he did at Winston-Salem State.
I'm asking, but let's not forget what he did as a player. That's why I asked that question.
Okay. That's a good one. Okay, so rephrase the question. What does Connell Maynard get into the Hall of Fame first as? Player or coach? I want you guys to
especially you, Ram Nation.
Yeah, you guys tell me. Well, come on now.
We know he should be both, but you got to give us one first.
Would they put him in as
you
a player
go get in the
and
same class twice?
You wouldn't put him in there as a player and a coach?
Not in the same class.
Not in the same class? Okay.
Yeah.
It's an interesting debate. Interesting discussion. Keith said coach. RB Parker says as a QB.
See what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
That's the debate.
Who was the architect of the North Carolina A&T run? Was that Broadway? Coach Broadway? Before Washington?
Yes.
Yeah,
that was. I was trying to think which one of them was first.
Yeah, so fascinating. So okay, so to answer the question, top of the list though, I like the Connell Maynard would be top of the list then. For me, I mean, guys, player and coach.
Yeah. Could he be the first 2-time?
That's a great question. Are there any other players and coaches in the Black College Football Hall of Fame currently?
Right.
Somebody who's done it as a player and as a coach.
Or if we have somebody in as one, how likely is it for him to get in as on the other end?
He said if he gets in as a coach, then we need a basement and a second story level. Well, I don't know. I don't get what you're trying to say, EA, because he came in with a boom. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, well,
right. Yeah, he's in as a player.
Okay, but the question is there anybody with credentials that you look at and say, as a player, yes. As a coach, yes. That's what we're saying.
Connor Manor right now.
Yeah, we're not talking about Eddie Robinson Jr. or Doug Williams, people who have played and then coached. Although Doug Williams' credentials as a coach aren't too shabby. I'm just saying. Go back and remember Doug Williams, what he did at Grambling. If I'm not mistaken, he had a few titles there at Grambling.
Did he have the longevity?
How many years did Doug coach? All right, so everyone's not sold on Doug Williams as a coach. Okay. All right. Broderick Fobbs. I don't know about Fobbs, honestly. I think Doug Williams would be interesting as a coaching candidate. But again, I think over Buddy Pugh coached at South Carolina State for what, almost 20 years, right?
Yeah. As a head
coach.
Yeah, that's not even counting the years.
I don't know, and he did that at one school. I don't think that will be repeated. I'm making a bold prediction. I don't think that will be repeated. He will be Buddy Pugh. Hear me out. Buddy Pugh is the last of a HBCU coach to coach for nearly 20 years. I'm saying over 15 at one institution.
Brian, well, I'm happy if you get to 10.
I'm happy you get to 5. You get to 5. You shooting for 10, Drew. There, get to 5, please. He's the last one, okay? Last of a dying breed. And then I'm just talking 20 years in the space in general in HBCU football. He might be the last to do that too as a head coach.
Yeah. We said Keith threw up Brian Jenkins.
Where is Jenkins? Where's he at now? I don't know where Brian Jenkins is. Isn't he back coaching somewhere? Oh, he's at Edward Waters.
Yes.
Yeah. There's time. I guess there's time since he's back. He did have a good run at School A. And if he turns
School
Edward
B,
Waters,
Brian. School B.
Yeah.
School B. We can't call him School A.
Who? What are you talking about?
Brian Jenkins.
What?
I called him School B. We'd never call him School A.
You. We went over my head on that one, Drew. I don't. You're talking about the whole. Oh, no. I mean, okay. I'm referring to Brian Jenkins's first school was the school in Daytona. The second place, B, would be in Jacksonville. The little school in Jacksonville. So I'm saying
I think it's too much trepidation around the Cole brothers, Edwin. I mean, they've done their thing separately. They've done it together, and they've done some other stuff together. Let's get to the rest of this Black College Hall of Fame story, Brian.
Yeah. Okay. So the Black College Football Hall of Fame hosts this thing they do in February, right? Called the Legacy Bowl. And the Legacy Bowl for the past, 4 years? 4 or 5 years, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. Has been held in New Orleans. In conjunction with Allstate and the NFL Network. They've had a great career fair. All that tied into the weekend.
Didn't this thing start off in like Selma, Alabama?
No, I think I think it has always been in New Orleans because I think this. If I want somebody knows the history. I believe it started in 22, right after COVID. Yeah, it's always been in New Orleans, and I think it's always been played at that stadium. One of the stadiums or yeah, maybe initially it didn't start out with connected to Tulane Stadium, but then it moved there, and so that's where it had been the last 4 years. I think 4 years is how long it's been there. Well, the Black College Football Hall of Fame announced on Friday that the All-State HBCU Legacy Bowl will relocate to, guess where all things HBCU move to, Atlanta, Georgia, beginning in 2027, moving the nationally recognized postseason All-Star game to one of the country's largest sports and entertainment markets. Of course, the showcase, you have draft eligible players from HBCUs, will be played at Center Park Stadium. That's also the home for the cricket BXWAC Challenge, right?
Kickoff. But Brian, from reports I'm getting, that has not actually been confirmed for Center Park.
Oh, another one of those.
I've heard some that the contract has not actually yet been signed for Center Park.
Oh boy.
It should be imminent, but it's not inked.
All right. So see, we write stories, but it's not official. Planned and intended or hoped to be at Center Park Stadium, maybe is a better way of saying it. On February 27th, with their career fair on February 26th. All right, Drew. Well, you being in Atlanta, all things move to Atlanta. We understand why. What's your thoughts?
My first thought is assuming Center Park, assuming February, assuming outdoors. Let me tell y'all something.
A lot of assumptions there.
One or two things are going to happen when they host this game. It will either be sunny and 70 or cold and 30. There will be no in between.
They always got good weather when they did this thing in New Orleans.
In New Orleans.
Yeah. A little further south.
This is Atlanta.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right. Ooh, just thought about that. Yeah. Atlanta, late February.
Yeah. And I'm just being real. Late February, it's going to be one extreme or the other. Ooh. Very rarely are you going to get a 50-degree day at that point in time in February, where it's going to be 50, 55 degrees and everything else. Obviously, the venue, we all know about the venue, so nothing with the venue itself and their ability to host HBCU events. We see it every August with the Cricket BXWAC Challenge kickoff. One thing I hope that they do, what they will need to do is, you got two HBCUs right here in Atlanta. How involved will the committee and everybody else be with the two HBCUs that are here in Atlanta?
There's more than two in Atlanta, Drew.
HBCUs, the two football playing HBCUs.
Okay, but there are other HBCUs in Atlanta.
There are two other HBCUs in Atlanta.
Have a career fair. Right? So, you got to imagine they're going to do something for Morris Brown and Spelman, or at least they should. No, Brian. What I'm talking about is opportunities for internships for some of these students here at these institutions, and other things that you would love to see partnered with the institutions that are here. That's what I'm waiting to see what happens. Practice, workouts.
all those type of things involving these other institutions.
Oh, well, you do have two facilities, that you could try to get access to, over at Clark and at Morehouse. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts there. It would be smart. It would be advantageous of them to get involved with them. I did look up the weather. You're absolutely right. On just that date in general over the last 5 years, I just did a quick search. Hey, what has the weather been like in Atlanta on February 27th? The last 2 years, mid-60s. 3 years ago, chilly and crisp, 32 to 35. The year before that, unseasonably warm and spring-like. The year before that, overnight low plummeted to 29 and a high of 53. So
I'm telling you, man.
Woo! Yeah, you're going to get one of two extremes, but you better pray that we don't have any global warming happening or any kind of ridiculousness. But I think, now I have not attended the Legacy Bowl. Have you ever been to the Legacy Bowl?
No, I have not. I've actually sent students down there, but I've never had the opportunity to go because I've had obligations on campus.
If anybody in the chat, if you've been to the Legacy Bowl over the last 4 years, how would you judge the attendance? Because I got to imagine when you move it, you're trying to hit as an all-star event. Not only are you trying to cater to these 10 schools within a 4 to 5 hour radius, but you're also looking to tie into an alumni base of interested HBCU football people who are also within, I'm just going to say, a 1 to 2 hour radius of Center Park Stadium, right?
One other thing, Brian, and I haven't seen the calendar. When is Mardi Gras next year? I wonder if that has a factor in it also.
That's what Edwin just said. He said sometimes it falls in the heart of Mardi Gras. So maybe that was another.
I didn't even see that comment. But
it just came up right as you were saying it. So maybe that's also another reason why they opted to move it. I don't know. But Mardi Gras does fall around that same time.
Yes.
Interesting.
And if you've ever tried to go to New Orleans for a non-Mardi Gras event.
Oh, Lord. Well, then there's
Mardi Gras.
That. Oh, well.
Your budget is going to crap.
And of course, it falls during the CIAA. God forbid anything else happens, Of course, Mr. CIAA there.
No, but that's a factor.
I don't think that's a factor.
That's the end of the CIAA tournament, but that's also the beginning of the SIAC basketball tournament.
Look, I don't think anybody that's in the South region is leaving the South to go to cold Baltimore to go see the CIAA. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see that happening. I don't not in the numbers that significantly matter. That's why you do it in Atlanta, because I can stay around the area and go to this Legacy Bowl. But again, all-star game, whatever. I'm not a big all-star game person anyway. I don't get excited about that.
Especially football.
Yeah, especially football, because nobody wants to get hurt. Fortunately, guys still play. Guys still hit. Guys still tackle. They haven't gone to flag football yet. So
they haven't gone NFL route.
Yeah, no. Even though, we had the one injury a couple years ago and the controversy around that. They didn't go to flag the next year, thankfully. So, but all right. So we'll see. Congratulations on the move. And we'll see. We'll talk about it more in February, I'm sure. Who will show up if you do it in Houston, Edwin? Will anyone show up? It will be less people that show up if you do it in Houston than you had in New Orleans. I think they want an upgrade in attendance, not a downgrade. Well, all right. That ship has sailed. Okay.
At least for 27.
Yeah, at least for 27. Speaking of all-star games, Drew, the one sport that still continues to be the best all-star game sport is baseball and even softball, Drew, because you know what? That sport you can't fake. You can't fake that sport. You can't half-A it. You got to play. And it's still, you throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. And then sometimes you make spectacular plays in the field, right?
Yes.
Minority.
And sometimes you almost make spectacular plays.
Exactly. Minority prospects, minority softball, minority baseball prospects had their annual HBCU All-Star Weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina, where Drew just came from. Drew was there. If you heard him on the call with Charles Ward for the softball game, which was on Friday, baseball game on Saturday. Drew, take us behind the curtain. How was the event, and what year are they on for the softball, and what year are they on for the baseball?
Year 4 for softball, year 6 for baseball, Brian.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And the event gets bigger and better every year. If you give me a second. Well, Brian, should I do the play or should I set up the play?
Well, first off, before you set up the play, talk a little bit about, if you would, just mention, is this now, for the softball event, are you dealing with mostly Division I, or do you have a mix
cross section?
Okay.
It's cross section. Had representatives from all 5 conferences, Brian.
Oh, nice.
MEAC, SWAC, CIAA, SIAC, and HBCU AC.
Because all 5 still play softball.
Correct.
And host championships in all 5.
Yes.
So, and it's not just for seniors either.
No.
Okay.
It's the best of the best.
Ooh,
so you could be a freshman or you could be a grad student out there playing.
Okay. All right. All right. So set up.
And also the one thing I like about this is they pick the best players and put them in and spread them out amongst the teams. So a lot of times you get teammate on teammate matchups in this game, not East West, where you may be the 3rd best shortstop, for instance, but if you're the 3rd best in the East, in a traditional sense, you would not make an all-star team, but you may be 3rd best, so you're over here on the other team. So I like the way that they do that.
I think the SWAC champions, Florida A&M, they had like 5 or 6 girls. One of them was on one team, and the other 4 were on another team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
from some photos I saw. I don't know how that worked for Southern and other schools.
It was interesting. At the end, Zoriana Hughes came in to face her battery mate in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice. Now we clipped one particular play, Drew, that pretty outstanding play, although it's got a little twist to it. I'll let you set it up.
Well, let me set it up. You'll kind of hear me stumbling on the call of this because we were in the middle of an interview. We were interviewing Cam Hollins, who is the vice president of softball for minority baseball prospects. And I was in the middle of asking him a question when this happened, Brian. You got it? I thought you had it ready.
I'm sorry. I do. I'm sorry. Hold on. I got it. Here we go.
Game like the Women's College World Series is packed out.
Ooh, that's a shot at the center field. That was she got over the fence and then say home run.
That looked like it hurt. The fact that she cleared the fence
over the fence. Trying to, obviously, we're playing on the baseball field. They've got the temp fence up.
Hey, but she cleared the post, like the metal post that was there.
Yes,
she cleared that too. Like, I would not want to fall on that. That might be, you go to the hospital if you fall on that. Let's look at that one more time. And that like look at the vert on who was the center fielder, Drew? Do we know?
I'd
And
have
who
to
was
look
at the
back at my
plate?
notes.
Who was at the plate?
I'd have to look
Do
back
we know
at my
that
notes.
either?
Yeah, let
right.
me look at my notes right quick.
While you chase that down, let's watch that one more time.
Game like the Women's College World Series is packed out.
Ooh, that's a shot at the center field. That would be, she got over the fence, and it's a home run.
And looking at the left fielder is like, oh, baby, that hurt. Jesus. Yeah, so shout out to minority softball prospects. 4 years of doing that HBCU All-Star game. After having a lot of great success, after 2 years of doing the baseball, they transitioned to picking up the softball thing and combined it. And so they've really done a great job of promoting softball equally as they have with baseball. Drew, where did they play that game at? What park?
That was Hicks. It was her last name. I'm trying to find her first name. Hicks was her last name. I'm looking up down the roster. Sky Hicks was the one who hit the home run.
From?
Wait a minute, I gotta go to my other set of notes.
Come on now, how are we not prepared? No, I'm just kidding.
I sent you the notes too.
You did? Hold on,
Yeah,
let me check my email.
Look in the notes section.
The notes. Oh, in the notes. Oh,
in the
okay.
notes.
In the notes. All right, let me see. Oh, you did send it to me. Yeah. All right. Minority softball prospects. All right,
taking me a minute to load these up.
On the fly, folks. This is live. Live radio. Live radio. I was trying to figure out where the game was.
Stick Williams Field,
which is
it's in Charlotte. It's a baseball complex. They play some one of the colleges there, one of the smaller colleges there actually uses that for their home field, but it is a public park. And it's the second consecutive year they've been out in Stick Williams Field.
Okay. You got to share access to that file, but
I do.
Anyway.
I'll go do that right quick. Thought I did. Sky Hicks from Bluefield State.
Okay. And the center fielder, you're looking that up too?
I'd have to go back and pull down the play-by-play, see who was in. And Brian, it's hard. I don't know if you've never worked at All-Star games.
Oh, I've worked. I know how you got substitutions.
Exactly. So I'm not 100% sure who the center fielder was at that point in time.
Yeah, because that's and I know because I remember broadcasting one of the first baseball events that minority baseball prospects did. And when they started doing the rotations after about the third or fourth inning, trying to keep up with the names on the roster and hoping that the roster matches the jersey numbers that they gave out, that's
you should have access now.
That's part of that. That's part of that challenge that you're like, hey, if you want us to be able to talk about these kids, we got to have accurate information. And so then you got to bring your binoculars, and there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
There's a team. Billy Harris holds off team Betty Chapman. What's the background on the names, Drew? I know you had to do your research on that. So
the background.
You want to tell people who was Billy Harris and Betty Chapman?
Just a second. Maybe we should have done a better job of
you were there. You wanted to talk about this. I thought you knew it. I mean, you're the one that was doing the broadcast, and I thought you'd done all this.
All right, here we go. I do. I just got to pull up all my notes. Betty Chapman is named for Betty Chapman, recognized as the first African American professional softball player. She debuted with the Admiral Music Maids of the National Girls Baseball League on July 18th, 1951, helping integrate professional women's softball. Team Billy Harris was named for Billy Harris, a legendary fast pitch player often called the Jackie Robinson of softball. Harris was a left-hand pitcher, an 18-time All-Star, and credited with pitching 70 no-hitters, including 4 perfect games, while playing through segregation and racial barriers in the sport.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So there's your Black History moment. Pushing him towards greatness, Edwin. Pushing towards greatness.
I ain't fooling with y'all.
And then, so there you go. So good job.
But I got the guys queued up, so when we go through that.
What kind of attendance? How would you categorize attendance for the softball game, Drew?
It was all right, Brian. I mean, it wasn't wasn't that to write home about, Brian? But
I gotta imagine you got mamas and daddies and at least nothing else that showed up.
It was like a typical college softball game, Brian.
I asked that because I remember seeing some videos from a couple of years ago when they were, where were they a couple of years ago before they moved to Charlotte?
Houston.
Okay, the park was a little bit smaller, right?
Yes.
That looked like it was packed because it was a smaller venue.
Yes, it was at the University of Houston, as a matter of fact.
Okay. But yeah, I know that looked packed. Just some of the visuals that I saw. So I couldn't really make it out from the broadcast, so that's why I was just curious
But Brian, you know the great thing about the softball game, though?
Yeah. What?
Was the final out of the game.
Oh, talk about it. What you got?
We had Team Harris is ahead of Team Chapman by a score of 4-1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. And then this happened, Brian.
Now she'll be substitute run for they're going to switch her helmet out. She's got a running helmet on now. So 2 down, bottom of the 7th. Hughes trying to get through this log jam for Team Billy Harris. Rocks and fires there. This one, but over the second baseman, out into right field. 1 run will score. They'll send another one to the plate. It's going to be close. And the tag out at the plate. They got Garcia trying to come home after the single to right field, and the throw coming in from the right fielder was right on the mark as the catcher Hicks able to squeeze it at the plate, turn, and applied the tag. And just like that, Team Billy Harris claims the 4th annual HBCU Softball All-Star Championship. What a finish to the ball game. Take a look at that. I think we had that replay on the shot out the right field out there in the grass. As you see the replay coming here. And just coming up with the ball, didn't go very far beyond the infield. And the throw at the plate, it's a gem coming straight up the line. And they got the tag on Garcia coming in. And Team Billy Harris wins it in big-time fashion here on that final play of the ball game. A lot of excitement. The Team Billy Harris did everything right on that play.
Hey, that was an outstanding throw by the right fielder. I mean, thrown perfectly up the third baseline where the catcher – I mean, I don't know who was that that right fielder again?
Why you asking questions?
Asking
Ryan?
Questions.
I know that was Scott Hicks who put the tag on it, though.
I'm trying to get some love. I'm like, y'all don't need anyway. Okay. All right. But anyway, great throw right fielder. All right, let's move to the baseball game, though. Good clip, though. I'm glad you were able to clip that.
Yeah.
What do we got for the baseball game? Now, similar setup, right? All Division I or Division I and Division II.
And Division I, Division II, NAIA, and junior college.
Oh damn! Where did he get junior college from? Junior college, huh?
Yeah, well, you do know we have some HBCU junior colleges, Brian.
Did not, but now I do. Okay.
Yeah. Alabama and Mississippi probably the leading two states with those junior colleges.
So there's more than one.
Yeah. Alabama State has in the Alabama junior college system, most of the HBCUs that compete athletically, over half of them over half the junior colleges that compete athletically are designated HBCUs in Alabama.
Okay.
Bishop State, Shelton State, there's a lot of
them. Okay.
First of all, with the men's game, let's talk about the team names. Team Larry Watkins, named after the Alabama State legend. Larry Watkins was the Alabama State lifer. He retired in 2011 after 30 years as head baseball coach and more than 5 decades connected as a Hornets player, assistant coach, and head coach. Won 513 games and remains Alabama State's all-time baseball wins leader, led the Hornets to 11 postseason tournaments, and was recognized as SWAC Coach of the Year. So that's where your team Watkins came from. Team Wilbert Ellis, one of the most respected figures in HBCU baseball history. Ellis spent 43 years coaching the Tigers, became head coach in 1977, went 701, 478, and 2 in 26 seasons, won 3 SWAC championships, led Grambling to 3 NCAA tournament appearances. He was also selected for the College Baseball Hall of Fame and had already been inducted into the ABCA, the SWAC, the Louisiana Sports, and Grambling Legends Hall of Fame.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Who shined the brightest at the game for you, Drew?
Well, obviously a good game there for the two teams. I won't say who, Brian. Can I just say what team shined the brightest, Brian?
Okay.
The team, the representatives of Alabama State showed out in this particular game.
Word, really?
Yeah. Let's start off with it, Brian. Let's start off with the where is it at? Let's start off with the fastest man contest. Excuse me, not the fastest man contest, the home run derby, Brian.
When did they do that?
This was done prior to the game, Brian. First of all, let's back up. Let's talk about what they did before the game. MVP Helping Hands with another clinic that they had with their youth there in the Charlotte area. And I'm trying to see if I can pull up the picture from it. Let me send it to my computer. But they had a great clinic there with a lot of the youth there in the area. Give me a second, Brian.
That's one thing that I really have respected and enjoy about MVP. They do a great job of putting together those youth clinics and those showcase opportunities, where their coaches and instructors, before they even do these all-star showcase events, there's always a clinic, and it's a great way to bring in youth, right? I mean, they're always bringing in the youth. Yeah.
And that's the clinicians, the young kids who were there along with the all-stars. You see a lot of the all-stars around the back, a lot of them in gray and the gray and the dark shirts. And then you see the young kids that were there in front of them, Brian. So just a great job reaching out in the community and helping grow this game there, Bryan.
Yeah. Good job. Nice job.
Yeah. After that, KJ Davis won the fastest man contest. Then we had a home run derby, Bryan. Here's what yes.
Who's KJ Davis?
Oh, Alcorn State. I'm sorry.
Okay.
KJ Davis of Alcorn State. I'm sorry.
All right, there you go. That's all right.
I'm reading too fast.
No, I just, I don't have these unless they go to FAM or unless they won the SWAC most valuable player. I don't know who these kids are, what school they went to. Go ahead, Drew.
Right. Then we had a home run derby. Bryan, it was interesting. After the first round of the home run derby, only 3 players hit home runs in the opening round of the home run derby.
Are they hitting a certain number of balls? Are they what is it? Time limit?
Time limit.
Okay.
But only 3.
How long?
I want to say it was 45.
45 seconds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But only 3 players were able to hit home runs in the first round. So it was kind of easy to figure out who got to the finals, Bryan.
Everybody. So you're telling me everybody's not a home run hitter like they thought they were?
Bryan, that's a real ballpark there.
You thought you were a home run hitter, and then the ballpark said otherwise.
These are not SWAC ballparks, Bryan.
Oh, ouch. Okay.
Yeah, we got a couple bandboxes there, a couple Cracker Jack box on ballparks. Anyway, Cameron Lafitte of Bishop State, Robert Robinson of Morehouse, and Jackson Williams of Alabama State made the finals. What was interesting about that, Bryan? You had a JUCO player, a D2 player, and a D1 player in the finals, with Jackson Williams outlasting the other 2 to win the title in the home run derby. Then, once the game began, here's a name, Bryan, I think you have heard. Miguel Oropeza. Yeah, have you heard of him, Bryan?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. No, he's a good kid, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, he opened the game with the RBI double. Robert Robinson followed with a single. Nigel Jenkins reached on an error that brought in another run. And Emory Stevens added an RBI single to give Team Wilbur Ellis a 3-0 lead after 1. Then one of the kids, probably the greatest story in HBCU baseball, one of the greatest kids you'll ever meet, Elijah Pinckney, stretched the lead to 4-0 with a solo home run. Bryan, cue up the clip.
Elijah Pinckney, that's your boy, right?
Yes, it is.
All right.
He's a better person. Oh, yeah, this one out in the left field. Got some carry on it toward the fence line, and Pinckney, he is gone deep here. Elijah Pinckney.
Great catch by the kid over the fence, too. You caught that one. Great catch.
But that extended the lead to 4-0. Team Larry Watkins answered in the 3rd. Jaden Greenrich. Wait a minute. Just a second. Jaden Greenwich of Lincoln, Pennsylvania, and Jordan Treadwell of Coppin State singled to start the rally. Cameron Bird of Southern drove in Greenwich with a single. Treadwell later stole home. It was a double steal, and Trey Bridges of Grambling delivered an RBI single to cut the deficit to 4-3. Wilbert Ellis responded in the bottom half of the inning. Tyvon Moore of Prairie View A&M walked before Devin Chandler of Alabama State launched a 2-run home run to push the lead to 6-3. Larry Watkins continued to battle, tied the game after the 5th after Jackson Williams of Alabama State singled. Jaquez Aikens of Benedict was hit by a pitch. Johan Sandoval of Savannah State drove in a run with a single, and Greenridge added a 2-run single to make it 6-6. And then the 7th inning came upon us. Chandler walked White was hit by a pitch. Ryan Hunter of Sutherland singled Chandler home to put Wilbert Ellis back up in front. Then Oropeza delivered the biggest swing of the night, ripping his second double of the game to score White and Hunter to extend the lead to 9-6. And that was our final, with Miguel Oropeza being named the game MVP there, Brian, going 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs.
That young man, MVP of the SWAC baseball tournament, yes. MVP of the All-Star game.
Yes. Also from Alabama State, Chandler added a home run, 2 RBIs, and scored on a walk. So Alabama State showed up and showed out in this All-Star game.
The next big All-Star event now will be the Swingman Classic.
Yes.
Which will be next month in Philadelphia.
Correct.
So, so I would imagine sometime in the next couple of weeks, you'll see the official announcement of the rosters come out. Now, with that event is usually just seniors or final graduates. Am I right on that, or am I wrong on that?
No, I think it's all
another all-star level event.
Yes.
Okay. But that one is all Division I, though.
Correct. Well, until last year, where they allowed the Division II player to get.
That's right. They had
who earned his way into it.
He did. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you, Oropeza definitely. Somebody would be crazy not to get that young man an opportunity at the next level. I think he's proven himself quite admirably.
And just think, last year he was at Talladega.
Well, I mean, hey, he was the player of the year. I mean, when he the Black College Nines, what do you call it? The small school player of the year?
I believe it was.
Yeah. So I mean, a great. That's the power of the transfer portal. Great job by Alabama State picking him up. Man, it paid off. Led him to a title.
Yes.
Good stuff. Okay, let's take another break. And when we come back, we will get into the next 5 stories that are part of the top 25, and then finish up with a few other stories from the past week. And I don't know what we look ahead to other than some of the professional stuff happening, Drew, but it's the world of HBCUs. Anything can happen over the course of the next 5 days, and we'll see what happens. So no predictions. Nothing scheduled.
Hey, you know what June means, Brian?
No, what does June mean?
Conference churn watch.
Really? I thought that would be. I don't think. Well, okay. Who knows?
We didn't think Xavier was going to make a move last year, and they did during this time. So,
okay. All right, good point. Great point. All right. Hey, conference churning on the eyes, always on the mind.
Yes.
All right, let's take that break.
Is the magic date.
You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you've ever told yourself, I want to get into real estate but don't know where to start, here's something just for you. From Friday, July 31st to Sunday, August 2nd, the Learn Real Estate Fast Masterclass is coming to McKenzie Office Park in College Park. You'll learn wholesaling, commercial investing, and how to purchase property with zero money or credit. I can tell you, education and access are everything. This masterclass is designed to give you both. Whether you're brand new or ready to level up, this is where you start making real moves. Enjoy free lunch, free study materials, and receive a certification of completion. So don't wait. Seats are filling fast. Do not sit on the sidelines while others build wealth. Take that first step toward ownership and legacy. Get your tickets now at learnrealestatefast.com or tickpick.com. For more information, call 678-859-3303. Master the market. Build your legacy. Secure your future today.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter. From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Okay, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. A.D. Drew, Brian Fulford, or I'm Brian, that's A.D., just in case you got it confused. Just kind of looking through to kind of check comments, anything. Appreciate everybody coming in or wherever you're watching us. The folks watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram Live, on Twitter, however and wherever you're watching us. Oops, I just closed a window. What window was that I closed? Appreciate you if you would go in and especially if you're on the YouTube or Facebook pages, whether you're watching us live or on replay, hit the thumbs up and the like button. Appreciate it. And I want to give a quick plug for anybody. If you're a podcast listener, do us a solid. Go find the BCSN Pod Zone on your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple. That's BCSN Pod Zone. And guess what? All of the shows that appeared during the week on the Black College Sports Network, you can get all of them there. So let's say you missed yesterday's engaging Carlos Brown show, in which he had Coach Chris Crenshaw, Southern Baseball, had a great conversation with him. And the panel, if you missed any of that, you can watch or listen on your podcast platform. Subscribe, download, rate, and review. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Interesting. I'm curious about this, Drew, because this kind of came up in our backroom text feed. We were talking about coaches. HBCU modern coaches, because that was the question that was put out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our friend said that we should also include these coaches' success as an offensive or defensive coordinator. Now, that's the first time that I've considered or thought about that, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts, and maybe you guys, those of you who have been with us in the conversation that we had earlier in the show, what are your thoughts on that? Should we consider, or to what degree should you count their success as a coordinator, whether it be offense or defense, towards their credentials in potentially going into the Black College Football Hall of Fame?
You still got to have the success when you do get the keys to the car, Brian. Now,
yes, understandably, yes.
It helps if you've had some success, but define success, Brian. Are we talking about you at the OC or DC on a championship staff somewhere else, or at that institution prior to taking over? Or is success you getting players to the league? Or is success you having record-breaking performances by your quarterback, a linebacker, a defensive lineman, a receiver? So while it should be a factor, I just need a better definition of what does success look like for OC and a DC. Because for a head coach, it's simple. It's W's and L's for success when you're a head coach.
Championships, wins and losses, championships.
Exactly. When you're OC, it's a little bit more subjective. And then how much of that do you really get? Are you the play caller?
That part. Here you go.
Or are you just the OC by title? Because, and I'll take this. Let's take Willie Simmons. No offensive coordinator on Willie Simmons' staff. His tenure cannot be included because it was a known fact that Willie called his own plays.
Yes.
But Willie also spent time as an OC also.
Yeah.
At Alcorn. So, so it's a little bit more subjective. You have to do a little bit more digging to find out whether you should count that as an OC or a DC into that. But I think it should be some type of consideration.
I just think it's hard to, because rarely do you find coaches that were an assistant coach at a school for a long period of time, right?
Yeah, you're only gonna be there 3 years as a.
Well, that's probably an average. I don't know that to be a fact, but that's a good estimation, right?
Because usually by that time it's either move up or move out.
Yeah, usually. Now there are some schools.
There's some who are there because they want to be there.
Yes, there are instances like I'm thinking at the Power 5 level. Well, that's a little bit different because the money is so good that there are Power 5 assistant coaches making more than head coaches at mid-majors or FCS schools. So, when you're at that level, you can probably live with being the DC or the OC
for 10 years
because you're making good money for that, and then you look at all the other stuff that goes on. You're like, hey, I don't know if I really want all that, and then if you go down to the FCS level, you're probably taking a pay cut. So at that point, you're like, how bad do you really want to be a head coach? But
right.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Sam Washington is a good name of interest note because you had him listed as he was a DC, well regarded as one of the architects for North Carolina A&T's defense, and then he transitioned and became the head coach. But it didn't end well for him, despite the early success on the heels of Broadway. So, would you include Sam Washington? Oh, see, come on. I was just about to say, would you include Sam Washington as I don't know his player credentials, Steve, but Steve seems to think he's a Hall of Famer as a player and coach. I would disagree about the coach. Now,
I don't think he had enough years.
I don't think he had enough years. And we can't use a viral moment and say that that's a Hall of Fame,
It's a Hall of Fame moment.
It was a Hall of Fame moment, but that doesn't count. Okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Okay.
Speaking of opinions, Brian.
Wins. Okay. 2 Celebration Bowl wins in a 4-year tenure. 4 or 5 year tenure. 4 years. I think he was there 4 years.
Two as the DC, 2 as the head.
Okay. Washington played for. Look, if you want to, Celebration Bowl Hall of Fame, Sam Washington,
He's
in
there.
it 100%.
He's got a red jacket.
Got a red jacket. We're talking Black College Football Hall of Fame. Bigger picture, bigger, just it should be a little bit different, just a little bit, and that's not to say he doesn't belong in the North Carolina A&T Athletics Hall of Fame, because he does, and the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame, he does.
It's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Good. Not the Hall of Extremely Good. It's the Hall of Fame.
There you go. I love that. The way you just said that. That's going to catch people. Okay. Let's get into these stories, Drew. You didn't do a little you didn't do what you did.
Oh, wait a minute. I
know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so if you want to do that, let me go to a couple of the other stories from the week.
Wait.
See, Steve, you're being petty. See, this is a shot. I feel like this is a shot. See, come on now. Come on now, stop it. Do we got to pull up the years and the wins and losses? I don't really want to do that right now, but okay. Since Drew is, I'm going to go do that now.
Brian,
I'm going to go do it.
Brian, because one of them changed. Send me the final 5 for this week somewhere, so I can make sure I'm doing the right ones. As I pull out the notes.
Put it in the chat here. This is interesting because now oh Lord. All right, let me see. Hopefully that didn't come up as too much of a cluster. I know it did. All right. So Sam Washington. All right. See, only because Steve, you made me do this. College, Mississippi Valley State. Drafted in 82, or undrafted, excuse me. Played for the Steelers from 82 to 85. Also played for the Bengals in 85 as well. Began his coaching career. Now, when you look at the stops on Sam Washington's coaching tree, spent time as an assistant coach at Bethune-Cookman, Johnson C. Smith, North Carolina Central, North Carolina A&T, Mississippi Valley State, Grambling State, then North Carolina A&T in 2011 until 2017. That's now, when we talk about putting into consideration the work that somebody did, that's pretty impressive. That is. And if you go and look at those teams and their defensive performances, because there were years where he was a defensive back coach. There were years where he was the defensive coordinator. And so you go look at those teams and you judge him based on that. But at A&T, right, he was the head coach for 4 seasons. The first 2, of course, were the Celebration Bowl years. Then COVID happened, and then the next 2 years.
And those are the 2 years that they moved conferences.
They moved conferences, correct. And he finished 3rd, tied for 3rd in 1 year, and 2nd in another year. Overall, 31-15 record, 19-8 in conference games, 2 national championships, 2 conference titles, so on and so forth, right? All right, so if it's can't believe Steve said that. If he's not in, Willie Simmons not in. You got it. Come on, Steve. You're being you're being much. You're being much. Hold on. Let me pull up the Willie Simmons coaching tree here. Where is it at? Hold on. I'm still trying to figure it out. All right. Let's see. Just as a head coach, again, 21-11 with Prairie View. First Panthers coach to post winning records in his first 3 consecutive seasons. First. This is the Prairie View organization.
And owns the nation's longest losing streak.
But also had home to great legends like Billy Nix, right? Okay. He was the first. Then he goes to Florida A&M. 45-13. That's a 77.6% win percentage. Never had a losing season. 23 SWAC title, HBCU national champions, Celebration Bowl. So that's a combined record of 66 and 24. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, but so I don't two things look good, but they're not the same. All right. So there you go. But it's an interesting question, interesting debate. And I'm sure if you're an advocate for Sam Washington, go in and do the deep dive research. All right. Let me go to one another stories that caught my eye and was of very good interest. This story came out. I'm reading right here from our good friend, Steve Gaither, from Friday. The NCAA finds 4 HBCU players through a game for sports betting. What? This is like right out of a movie. I expect somebody to write a script and a movie for this in about 5 years.
Maybe HBCU game they'll produce their first movie on this one.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Oh, man. So the NCAA report that now remember the NCAA had already kind of caught wind of this entire story, and several people were already roped up in it, right? But the NCAA infractions report came out and said sports betting integrity violations involve 4 men's basketball student athletes occurred at Alabama State. Let's see. I'm reading right here from the NCAA.com. 1 former student athlete agreed to his violations, but 3 former student athletes chose not to participate in the investigation or were unresponsive. All 4 student athletes are permanently ineligible. Now, what I find real funny about that, Drew, these guys were like already gone. I don't think they were like they are no longer like looking for opportunities in college athletics, at least as players, to my knowledge.
Bryan, as long as we got all this stuff with these rules out here and 5 and 5 and 5 and everything else, and everybody suing everything else, you never say never when it comes to eligibility anymore.
Lord have mercy. Okay. Individuals.
Hold on, let me throw this in before you move on. But if any of these young men were to coach, now this black mark follows them around if they were decided to coach on the collegiate level. Okay, so that's where I'm glad you explained. Okay, so but see, when it says they're ineligible, I don't know that does this mean that they are no longer eligible
to be a coach, an assistant coach?
It would probably they would probably be one of those show calls coaches, as they call it.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Steve even said if they decide to coach or even look for a job as a coach in the club. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, good. Thank you for the clarification. The individuals, Amar Knox, Sean Fulcher, Corey Hines, and Tony Madlock, are no longer members of the school's men's basketball program.
Who was that last
and
one?
are not currently competing in NCAA college sports. Now, yes, that last name, Tony Madlock, is the son of former coach. Was it Tony Madlock was the coach's name? I know it was Madlock, Coach Madlock. That team was the team that, 2 seasons ago? They led, Madlock was the guy who hit the game winner, right? Tony Madlock Jr., yes. That was the team that won the game on a last-second jump shot, a one shining moment in the NCAA tournament. SWAC champions, right?
Now, this is what I'm wondering, Brian.
What are you wondering?
Do we have a Michigan situation here?
Well, I don't know. Let me see. There's a lot of stuff here in the article. I'm trying to summarize here. Let's see. I'm reading the article and I'm reading the NCAA notice as well. The school issued a statement. Alabama State issued a statement saying that Alabama State University was made aware of an NCAA inquiry in January. I'm assuming that's January of 2026, and has since been notified of the negotiated resolution related to sports betting allegations involving former Hornet men's basketball student athletes, the statement read. Although the institution is not a party to this case, it fully cooperated with the NCAA throughout this matter. Of course, you want to do that because, even though the coach is no longer part of the program, the players are no longer part of the program, you don't want to get hit with a Michigan situation that you just brought up, right? And so it doesn't look like that is at play. It does say the university was fully cooperative. Okay, so what does the game center around? The game centers around apparently a Southern Miss basketball game. This would have been a non-conference game. So according to the NCAA report, the matter began after Temple. Now that was, let me see, who was this Temple character? Temple was the, or is this the school? Wait, no, this wasn't the school. Wait a minute, hold on, let me look here. This was in July of 2025 when Temple University informed the NCAA enforcement staff that Corey Hines, who had transferred to Temple, was contacted by the FBI and shown text messages concerning a sports integrity issue when he was a student athlete at Alabama State. In October of 2025 and January 26, the NCAA enforcement staff interviewed Amir Knox, who reported that Sean Fulcher, put other teammates in a group chat in December 2024 with one of 2 known bettors, both of whom were later indicted in January 2026 by the U.S. Attorney General for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania on wire fraud and bribery charges related to sports contests. The bettor offered the student athletes money for the team to throw its game against Southern Mississippi the next night. Knox's teammates, including Fulcher, Hines, and Madlock, then participated in a FaceTime call with the bettor the morning of the game, in which Madlock told the bettor he was injured and he was not going to play that night. The group agreed on the call to throw the game. Knox reported that he, Fulcher, Hines, and Madlock received, now this is crazy right here, Drew. This is the part that blew my mind. They received a total of $2,000. That's $500 apiece. Do the math, right? From the second known bettor for throwing the game against Southern Mississippi. Each student athlete's violations of ethical conduct rules are level 1. Let me see. In just skimming down through the NCAA report, it says failure to cooperate in an NCAA investigation, including knowingly providing false information during an interview, violates NCAA rules. Fulcher and Hines' failure to cooperate violations are level 1. Madlock, who exhausted eligibility, declined to participate in an interview with the enforcement staff. Hines apparently provided false, according to, during his interview, Hines provided false or misleading information when he denied participating in a call and sharing information with individuals who were engaged in sports betting. Of course, you deny until the truth comes out and you're like, I was mistaken. I didn't recall at the time. Anyway,
I do not recall.
I do not recall, right? If you know, you know, right?
And you know what this sounds like, Brian? And of course, you have to have a good lawyer to help you navigate through this stuff. But when they come in and they already know what the evidence is, they just want to see what you have to say, whether you're going to tell them the truth or whether you're going to lie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Memo.
Thank you, Steve.
Memo to student athletes. The minute they're coming in to tell you and ask you these, they already know. Let me see. I like the fact that Steve wrote a very nice companion article here. Where is it? I saw it here. Damn it. Where's the Steve? Where's the article? I started reading it and then it just kind of went away. It's a companion article that talks about okay. It's called Sports Betting Scammers See HBCU Players as Easy Targets.
You know why?
And well, I don't know if you read the article, but why?
No. I have not had a chance to read you. Obviously, I was doing baseball and
right.
I had to do a lot of baseball research this weekend to make sure I didn't sound stupid on the air. But anyway, because we ain't got no freaking NIL, Brian.
Yeah, that's not entirely true.
That is true.
It's not all NIL. Some of these schools are doing cost of attendance. I don't know which ones.
But when I say that, Brian, we if you go to a kid at a P5 school, you're not buying them off for $500 like you bought these kids off for, Brian.
That part is true. Those guys are just free gambling on their own, like the quarterback from Texas Tech. He's just gambling on anything and everything.
Exactly. But he also comes from a situation where he could do it. But what does Steve have to say? That's just my 2 cents.
But anyway, the article, I'd encourage you guys to go to hbcugameday.com. It's called Sports Betting Scammers See HBCU Players as Easy Targets. And again, one of his points talks about the money gap is the vulnerability.
Damn, didn't I just say that in so many
words?
Well,
you did.
Okay.
You did.
I just want to make sure. Boy, watch out, world. Me and Steve agree.
I'm reading a quote here from one of his paragraphs. There are players at high major schools earning serious money, while others at Division I programs are competing with far less. Multiple HBCU coaches have said publicly this year that their programs do not have NIL budgets to pay players at a meaningful level. That imbalance creates a problem. And while all Division I schools may share the same classification, but they do not share the same financial reality. Some programs fly private. Others are trying to stretch every dollar. Some athletes have NIL deals that look like salaries. Others may be trying to get through the semester with little more than meal money and hope. Damn, Steve. Look, that's a bar. Great. I'm not even going to read the rest of it because I want you to go to HBCU Game Day and read the rest of the article. But it scores that bigger issue of, I think what hits me hard, Steve, Drew, it is sad that those guys put their integrity on the line for $500. See, when we talk to young people about being able, my dad used to always talk about seeing past my nose. And throwing a game for $500 is looking, at what's in front of you and not even processing the long range implications, right? I mean, $500 is, I don't want to come off as like I'm just making $500 every day. I don't want to sound like it's nothing, but throwing away your future career in athletics, whether that be as a player, coach, administrator, you're throwing it away for $500 in the moment. Really? Y'all couldn't find some boosters. I know there's got to be some Alabama State boosters who would have slid y'all $500 if y'all were really hurting that bad, right? Come on now.
Steve brings up a point, and this is out there. Now this becomes public record, Brian.
Yes, it does.
So if you ever are at a job with any type of fiduciary responsibility,
oh, yeah, wow,
people are going to look at you.
Yeah.
Be at the bank. Hell, be it that you're working at the gas station. People are going to look at you and wonder when that TL comes up short or whatever the case is, Brian. So there used to be this thing when you walked out of a lot of locker rooms, there were 4 words that used to be over the door. Don't bet on it, with the NCAA logo by it.
Wow. Love that. Wow. What a message. Strong. You need to put that back in the locker room.
That was it. And we used to go through all these betting campaigns and betting things. And there needs to be a little bit more uptick in the education and the ramifications of it, not only from the NCAA, but from each institution, especially when you see DraftKings and FanDuel and everything else every time you turn on the athletic competition, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real simple. And a lot of these people, they may have something on their burner account or burner email or something like that. But you're not going down to the barbershop and meet Joe at the barbershop and placing your bet down there anymore. No. All this stuff is electronic. You get your money, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, or whatever kind of ACH that they're paying you with. Right. It is so easy to get caught up, and not to get caught up, to get caught.
Yep.
Brian. So easy to get caught.
Very easy.
With this. So we're seeing it, but this is nothing that's particular to college. We're seeing this at the professional level. Hell, we see it. We see people betting on high school games, Brian, middle school games.
I still don't know where that's happening at, but I hear it happens. I hear it has happened. So I don't. Right. I'm not gonna play dumb to it, but I mean that's wild to me.
Brian, you can go to the park in some cities, and you got people betting on that game out there on their blacktop.
Oh, that okay, true. I understand.
So it's the culture, but you have got to know better, and you have got to think about not only what this does to you personally, forget the institution, what this does to your mother and your dad's good name.
That part right there.
For
That part about
$500, Brian. And I, if I am going to go down for something, I'm not going down for $500, Brian. I am going down for true white collar crime. This is not it, Brian.
Yeah, what do we value these days? The values, but think about that part you said about names. That's what I was thinking about. I said, what do kids value? I mean, if you don't value the integrity of playing the game, how about the value of your name? For Tony Madlock Jr., who carries his dad's names. His dad is, a SWAC champion, won a championship, led Alabama State, is now an assistant coach at Memphis. That name is now tied up because your son is a known sports gambler as a college athlete. And he was on your team that you coach. So, I mean, at some point you're looking at him like, Coach, you had 4 players that were gambling. Y'all had no clue at all? I mean, didn't notice the state dinner after the game or something? I mean, or 2 weeks later? Somebody in the chat said, back in the day, you were better off with the what did EA call it? The street where is the message? What do you call it? The street pharmacy boys. Look, the guys who would slip you $200 or whatever for a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no financial record. Look, them dudes even know there was no it was
cash.
It was cash. It was cash transaction.
Cash.
It was like, we're not making
cash.
phone calls. There's no text. I would tell every young, hey Drew, what we tell every young person should watch The Wire. Spend the summer watching The Wire. I know it's dated back to the 90s, but watch The Wire.
Storylines are still relevant.
Educate yourself on where you can get hemmed up, whether you be a street dealer or a political figure. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what's happening in the world. But it is really sad, though. I don't mean to be in jest about it, because it really, and again, I'm encourage you to go read Steve's article, HBCUGameDay.com, on sports betting scammers see HBCU players as easy targets.
Yes, Jared. Yes. Do it big. not 500.
How about, I'm just gonna say, don't do crime. Don't do it. Just don't do it. All right. Let's just keep it at that. But just for $500, I mean, damn, really? $500? Just know if that they were able to pay you $2,000 as a group, those dudes probably made 10 times that themselves, right? Because you're probably thinking, we'll cut these guys 20% of whatever we make for doing it. And then of course you had the Alabama State story is just kind of one part of that, because I know A&T was wrapped up in that whole thing. And as a just sidebar note, I am so glad to see, the story that was out there about the kid, the quarterback from Texas Tech, who was gambling on any and everything he could back when he was a red shirt at Indiana, and then even when he was at Cincinnati, and then all of a sudden it comes out prior to him going to Texas Tech, or really after the spring season, and it's like, oh, I have a gambling addiction. No S. You're betting on Turkish basketball and ping pong.
And you too far in debt.
And you're in debt. Yeah, you got a gambling habit. Yeah, you and I mean, he's making appeals to try to get eligible. I'm like, if that case, if the NCAA had lost that case, Drew, the NCAA might as well have folded up shop, Like, because I know there's a lot of things that people get on the NCAA about and say, you know, you can't do. There's two things that you should not be able to do in the NCAA and still play. A, bet on your sport, right? I mean, I know gambling, but betting on your sport in season should not be allowed, right? And then two, killing somebody, killing a teammate. I mean, those two things should instantly disqualify you. Yes, exactly. That's where I was going. That should instantly. Everything else is a gray area, apparently. But there's two things that should be black and white. You cannot allow kids to gamble on their sport. I don't care if they're not playing, because whatever.
They have too much information.
Too much information. You cannot bet. You cannot do that. You do that, you're ineligible. I'm sorry.
Or let's take one step further. You can't be the tipster either.
No, you can't. That's correct. That too. Now, you know, I'm a little.
It's a little bit tougher to prove that one.
That might be a little tougher to prove, right? But some idiot might be out there texting or doing something else. But you know, you just can't do that. I'm sorry.
Bryan was in a boot today. Send.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be the tipster. Don't be the tipster, man. Don't stop making phone calls. Stop sending texts. You know, leave a note on a mailbox and then walk away and whatever. What do you say? Your interviews don't get you insider tips. No, but again, I'm in a different situation.
But in Bryan's case, Bryan cannot control the outcome.
Thank you. At the end of the day, I cannot control the outcome. That's the main part of it that you got to be aware of. So, pretty sad story, but at least it appears that Alabama State is not on the hook for the sins of their former players, and it doesn't look like they will risk losing any funds earned or any wins that were gathered on the backs of those student athletes when they were at Alabama State. So
thank God.
Exactly. So we'll see. Okay. Let's get into these top 25 stories.
Did you see the link?
I did. I pulled it up.
Okay, you got it. Okay.
I got it.
Yeah, I see you.
All right. So all right. So these are stories. Again, our top 25 stories of the year. We told you what 21 through 25 is. And so here we go with stories 16 through 20 in our summertime special, where we break down the top 25 stories of the academic calendar. And this is, again, they're in the academic calendar. So from, September or August.
July 1 of last year through current.
To current. Okay. Number 20. Well, we'll title this as the MEAC/SWAC Challenge remains HBCU football's front porch. Though
we'll take it to graphics department, then send over the graphics.
Yeah, no, the graphics department was a little busy, so you'll have to bear with us and catch it on the back end. Week 0 used to be the MEAC/SWAC Challenge's day. It's night, it's weekend, especially for Black college football. Unfortunately, though, that is no longer the case. And I say unfortunately for that game, maybe fortunately for everybody else, because it was announced a few months back that week 0 is now a very popular weekend for Black college football games, as we have a crowded field of games that will be happening alongside and presumably at the same time as the MEAC/SWAC Challenge this year. Drew, how many games did you count?
There are a total of
happening on this.
21 games on week 0.
Wow. 21 games. I believe, for example, every team in the SWAC is playing. Well, not every team is playing on Saturday.
Yes.
There are, but everybody is playing week 0. So I think a couple of schools have a Thursday or maybe even a Friday game.
Correct.
But everybody is playing
21 on Saturday.
So we're talking 21 games. And that involves Division 2 versus Division 1. Does it even include Division 2 versus Division 2?
There may be. I had to pull up the matrix.
MEAC games are happening. SWAC games are happening. So for the first time, the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge has competition. Of course,
in week 0. First time in week 0. Remember, the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge used to be week 1. Used to be Labor Day.
That's right. It did. It did. But then they moved it up. They got ESPN to get on board, and they moved it up a week, which means it was sort of the kickoff to the season. And then they got it on ABC, and it would be a primetime game, and this was the spotlight feature. Now, this year, August 29th at 7:30 p.m. in Center Park Stadium in Atlanta, they have company. And what will that impact be? Because we've talked about this in other shows, but we've enjoyed kind of over the last few years all of the various media folk coming into Atlanta, reporting and covering the game, and not having to worry about our individual schools or other games and matchups. Well, this year, it will look entirely different because many of us will be in different cities, either broadcasting or covering our games. For me, for example, Florida A&M hosts Albany State that day. I will be in Tallahassee. Drew's Morehouse Tigers are playing somebody on week 0.
UAPB.
Is it home?
No.
So, there's a possibility. I'm not going to speak for what Drew's going to do, but, there's that. So Drew's got double duty, right?
I got to borrow your private jet, Brian.
Yeah, I'll loan it to you. So not only, and again, not just and it's not even the only MEAC SWAC game. I think there are like at least two.
I've got the full schedule right here, Brian. The week 0, there are last time I counted, there are 26 games that weekend. You've got 4 Thursday, 1 Friday, and the 21 Saturday.
How many other MEAC SWAC games are there during week 0? Because I think there's at least 2 or 3.
I'm going down the list.
Again,
you got no. Well, it's not a MEAC SWAC, but you got Morgan State A&T.
Okay.
Central and Texas Southern.
Okay, North Carolina Central versus Texas Southern.
That's it. That's the only MEAC versus SWAC game. But you do also have Jackson State, Tennessee State.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. Yeah. But in terms of like best matchups, I mean, Howard, Alabama A&M is the game. I don't think people would think of that as the sexiest matchup of the weekend. Not with Jackson State.
It's in the sexiest city, though.
Huh?
It's in the sexiest city.
What is?
Howard, Alabama A&M.
Okay.
Atlanta.
It is, but city. that HBCU fan base that the event has leaned on is people are going to be everywhere. People are going, there's games happening in Birmingham. There's games happening in Is it Nashville or
Yes,
Nashville?
that's in Nashville.
There's games happening in Tallahassee. There's games happening in other places around the country.
Houston.
People who would have migrated to Atlanta that weekend are dealing with dilemmas, so to speak, maybe. So what does it mean for the future? And what does it mean for the future week 0? Interesting questions raised. Any other questions regarding story number 20?
I think we hit that one.
Okay. Story number 19. Who is the best non-Division I baseball team from this past year? Well, was it the Edward Waters University Tigers? Or was it the Talladega College Tornadoes? Both of them can make a strong argument as who was the non-Division I baseball team of the year. Edward Waters won the SIAC baseball championship, defeating Spring Hill by a score of 6-4, finishing the tournament unbeaten, 4-0. They closed the year of the regular season out on an 11-game winning streak, second SIAC title in the past 3 years. And I think they finished with a final record, Drew, of like 33 something wins. 33 or 34.
33 or 34. What?
Yeah.
I think they had one more win in Talladega. I think Talladega wound up with 33, if I remember correctly.
Right. And I believe Edward Waters finished number 1 on the Dr. Cavill Inside the HBCU poll, correct?
Correct. And Talladega was number 1 in the Black College Nines poll, winning their second consecutive HBCU AC title.
Right. Obviously, many people, us included, group Division II and NAIA together. The only sport that we really don't do that in is basketball. At least we don't.
Yes.
But most people group Division II teams along with NAIA programs. So when you talk about who was the best, nobody wants to be a co-champion, but anyway, I think it's an interesting case of, do you look at the Division II record of Edward Waters being in the SIAC and competing at the NCAA Division II level, or do you look at Talladega at the NAIA level, who in their postseason national tournament, I believe Talladega won their opening game in their national baseball tournament, and then they ended up losing the next 2, I think. Edward Waters did not win a game in their
postseason.
Yeah.
Bryan, when I get to some debates like this, I love to go to Massey ratings, correct?
Okay, yep.
And looking at Massey ratings, just in the HBCU category, they do let you separate HBCU baseball teams. Talladega comes in at number 11, while Edward Waters comes in at number 14.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, Drew and I are voters on various polls. I will full transparency say I voted for Edward Waters over Talladega. Who did you vote for, Drew, if you want to share?
Oh, when my bread is buttered, I had to go with the SIAC. with all other things being equal, I have to favor my conference. And it literally, most things were equal when you looked at these two teams. So I favored my conference.
All right. So, but congratulations, though, to both teams, though. Outstanding seasons. And I think it only benefits the sport of baseball when you have two good teams and you can have that debate and go there. Let's see. As Edwin says, it'd be interesting study to see if there's any difference in talent at Division IIs versus NAIA. You know what? The beautiful thing about baseball, Edwin, is statistically, I think you can do that.
And a lot of times they play each other. Just like you see NAIAs play Division One teams. How many SWAC schools have an NAIA on their schedule for a midweek?
And what I mean by statistically, I think you can look at player performance and opponent. You statistically, and I think that's why you can, if a site like Massey is statistically able to break it down, what they're using is a lot of mathematical numbers from baseball among the players, the pitchers, the opponents, right? That can make it all make sense. Because I really feel like baseball, I've sometimes felt that basketball is a universal sport regardless of your division. Baseball might be even more so universal, Drew. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, you may throw harder, but at the end of the day, what? You still got to throw the ball, hit the ball, catch the ball.
All right. And you want to talk about that cross-divisional thing there, Edwin? I got one example for you. Miguel Oropeza. That's NAIA last year, conference champion. NCAA this year, the NCAA Division One to be specific, conference champion. Let's move on to 18.
If you can hit the ball, you can hit the ball. It translates, right? And,
yes.
Nice one. Story number 18 for the 25-26 academic year. How about the SWAC All Sports Championship debate? Now, I say this, and this is I caught some strays because I brought this up on another show in another format. But this is not about them. This is more so the SWAC All Sports Championship debate between three schools. Jackson State, who was the winner of the All Sports SWAC Championship.
For all around. Men and women.
Versus Bethune-Cookman, who won the men's sports title, versus Alabama State, who won the women's all sports title. So here's what, and this is the question that comes up. The overall cup versus the men's title versus the women's title championships, because in the SWAC, shout out to Morehouse, who won the SIAC Commissioner's Cup for the second consecutive year. In the SIAC, points are earned based on winning tournament championships.
Correct.
First, second, or third.
Yes.
Okay. In the SWAC, it's based on regular season performance, right? And what you do. And it's almost it's a points chase based on how many times or how many opportunities you can put your team in position to earn points. So, for example, all schools don't have the same number of opportunities, right?
Because they don't sponsor every SWAC championship sport.
I think Jackson State sponsors every sport. Alabama State sponsors every sport.
And I think Southern does too.
Yeah, but Bethune-Cookman does not. I know it for a fact that they do not. So
women's soccer, one specific.
Well, yeah,
but that's
exactly.
Well, we on the men's side,
right. So Bethune-Cookman won the men's points. I mean, they, obviously showed up in, I think, cross country, men's basketball. They won regular season titles. Baseball won a regular season title, right? So they showed up there. On the women's side, though, I went back and looked. Alabama State has won the women's title the last 4 years in a row, and 5 of the last 6. Now, 6 years is since expansion. So I didn't even go deeper. I stopped right there. It's past 6 years. And also what I found interesting, Drew, this year with Jackson State winning, which I believe they beat Alabama State by maybe about 3 or 4 points. Jackson State, this is the first time that a school has won the all sports and did not win either the men or women's. What do you make of it, Drew? And notice I didn't bring up anything about how many tournament championships they won or didn't win or any of that other stuff, because I don't want y'all to think any kind of way. I'm just saying it's kind of interesting. Is it not interesting? I mean, it is interesting. Congratulations to Jackson State. Congratulations to Bethune and Alabama State. But it is interesting. Is it not?
Well, Brian, since you brought it up, you didn't open up the can of worms. How many championships did either one of the 3 schools that we talking about? How many tournament championships did they actually win?
Oh, Drew, man, you making me go there, huh? Okay, well, since you went there, Drew, Alabama State won 4 conference tournaments. 4. Hold on. I'm looking at something here. Let me make sure, because I did all this. I did all this at another time, because people. Let me see. Yeah, Alabama State won 4 conference titles. Bethune-Cookman, I believe, won 1 conference title. And I'm trying to find.
And these are tournament championships we're talking about, not regular.
Tournament, yeah, okay. Tournament championships. And I believe Jackson State won 1 tournament championship as well. Now, if earning points, you do earn points again for regular season titles in the SWAC, which I believe Jackson State won like maybe 5 regular season titles. Coming in second in the championship game earns you points. They finished second 4 times out of the 5 championship games that they were in. So they stacked up a lot of points.
Yeah.
But,
I'm going to say this, and this has nothing to do specifically with this debate, but it does revolve around this subject, Brian. Because all SWAC institutions are not made equal when it comes to the number of sports that they are doing, I do think your point should be divided by the number of sports to see who the true champion is. I have always said that, even before Florida A&M joined everybody. I just want to put that on record, that it should be divided, that your total points should be divided by the number of sports you have to get a true measure of the health of your program. Number one. That way you don't have people holding on at the end of the year, Brian, like they do in the major leagues. They doing an extra 2 years so they can pad their points. LeBron James. Anyway, that's number one. Number two, but great job to these institutions for what they did, because obviously athletic directors have these things written into their contract, getting these particular trophies. So the fact that you are able to pick up one of these trophies shows great great fortitude by your institution and your athletic department that you guys are able to build a winning team there. Uh, wow, there's not a whole lot to unpack here, Brian, except it's interesting. Jackson State, like you said, the first institution to not win either the men or the women to actually win. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave with this as we get ready to move on to number 17, Brian. Jackson State, second, but you took home the big trophy. Yeah, y'all didn't claim the trophy like that when y'all were declared national champion by some publications in 2021 after you lost to South Carolina State. So which one is it gonna be? Are you claiming all trophies, or just the ones when you win it all?
I see some of you guys in the chat saying add more sports now, which is something that I believe Jackson State did, which helped them this past year. I believe they added a sport this past year, which they didn't have 2 years ago.
But was that sport the difference maker? Did they earn points in that sport?
Yes,
Okay.
it was. I believe it was a difference maker. Again, here are the final numbers, and I'm going to move off of this because I don't want y'all to think this is me. And this is an interesting, again, bigger story. I haven't mentioned that other school. Drew did. I haven't mentioned it. I know some of y'all don't believe that. But anyway, Alabama State did not win any regular season titles. None. But they won 4 tournament titles in baseball, men's tennis, women's cross country. Okay. Bethune-Cookman won 2 regular season titles. I think I might have said 3. It was actually 2. Outright in baseball, outright in men's basketball. Cross country is one that won a tournament title. Men's cross country.
Well, cross country doesn't have a regular season.
Correct. So it's just a tournament. And now for Jackson State, they won 4 regular season titles. They won the East in football. They won soccer outright. They won tennis, women's tennis outright. And they were the co-champs in women's bowling. But the only tournament title that they won was in men's outdoor track and field. And if I'm not mistaken, though, they lost in the championship game in football, women's soccer, women's tennis, and women's bowling. So, they essentially could have run away with it, but it was a little closer. But again, this was the first year that a school won the overall title and did not win either the men or women's sport title. So there you go. But congratulations, the strength of the overall programs. Yes, Israel, exactly. Congratulations, Jackson State. Moving on. Number 17. Winston-Salem State Women's Basketball Championship run. Now, the Winston-Salem State Rams. Now, some people might think this story is too low. Okay. But this was an exciting team for first-year head coach at Winston-Salem State, Coach Terry at Winston-Salem State. The team finished the regular season 28-4. They went unbeaten at home, 13-0. They won the program's first CIAA women's basketball title. And they got to the Sweet 16 in Division II. They were the story. And we can even say, yes, that too. They a heck of a turnaround. They went from 7 wins to 28. Lost to the national runner-up at home. An outstanding story and an outstanding season. Now, Coach Terry is not a first-year coach. obviously she had spent a few years, I believe, at Virginia State, or was it Virginia? No, Virginia Union. I'm sorry. Virginia Union, previously at Virginia Union. But, she really put this program in a place to have great success in the future. And really it kind of coincides with everything that Winston-Salem State is doing from an athletic standpoint to put themselves into maybe when there was a brief moment when Winston-Salem State was, can't even say a brief moment because they were a Division I FCS program, but they decided to move back down to Division II. This is probably the strongest they've been since they jumped up to Division I. I would love to see what Ram Nation says there. Because, when you think about what Coach Terry did, it kind of lit a fire. I think it lit a fire in the men's basketball program, Drew, is what it did.
It was so much fire that the coach had to get out the hot seat before the end of the season.
Yeah, it cost the men's basketball coach his job, presumably, people might say. And then they got a big hire. They pulled Virginia Union's coach, so they pulled him. You went and got a former alum, one of the great quarterbacks of Winston-Salem State history, to come head the football program after years of mediocrity. So, there's an influx of revenue coming in to the school and the athletic program. There's a new commitment to winning. And you could probably thank Coach Terry and the women's basketball program for doing that, Drew. Is that fair?
That is more than fair, Brian. I mean, it was at least for women's basketball. Is there a better story out there this year?
Women's basketball? No. I don't think.
I mean, despite what Howard did, despite what Southern did, this is the story in women's basketball.
Yeah, I don't. You didn't have that. You didn't have that alpha dominant team in the SWAC. You didn't even have that alpha dominant team in the MEAC. I mean, you had, because this was sort of I hate to say it, this was sort of a down year for Norfolk State, even though they got to the championship again. And Howard was really good, but I don't think the rest of the MEAC was as good as it has been in the past. So, yeah, this was the story. And now you have to legitimately start thinking about Winston-Salem State women's basketball at their level in the same light that we were growing accustomed to talking about Jackson State in the SWAC. I think going forward. Now, the one thing I'm curious about is how now we learned last week that the CIAA is increasing the number of games. So now everybody plays everybody. So it's like it goes from a 20 game conference schedule to a 22, or is it 20? Because there's only 11. Is it 11 schools?
12. It's 12 in basketball. It's Claflin. Add Claflin.
Oh yeah, add Claflin. So that's 11 opponents, 22. That's a 22 game schedule out of 8?
28 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got
so
6 nines.
Yeah, so you go from where you had, I think the CIAA teams only lost 2 or 4, somewhere in there. Yeah, so we'll see how that affects them, but I think we are looking at Winston-Salem State. Put it like this: if I'm a Division I program, I'm not scheduling Winston-Salem State for that exhibition game, especially if I'm an HBCU. Don't do it. I hate to say that out loud, but I would not be looking to schedule Winston-Salem State in one of those Division I crossover exhibition games if I'm an HBCU, because you will get beat. And we've seen it happen before to some schools You will lose. But congratulations to Winston-Salem State. Yes, they are. You're a top 10 program, Steve. The Rams should be nationally ranked in the top 10 to start the year. They should be. Our last story for this segment, number 16. How about the story and the growth of HBCU media growth this year, especially as it comes to when it relates to platforms that are broadcasting games? If you think about this year, back in almost 10 months ago, we had the debut or the announcement of SWAC TV at the Football Media Days, which was sort of a revamped online media platform that would broadcast all basketball, all football, but all sports for all 12 institutions if they could get their stuff together to broadcast it. But then also you had the SIC network, which also was in its first full academic year. And they too broadcasting multiple games from all institutions, almost in a model very similar to what we saw from the CIAA. You know, they were actually the front runners to all of this, right, Drew?
Yeah. CIAA was the first ones out there, followed by the HBCU AC.
Right. Correctly. The HBCU came in after them along with their partnership with, I think, UEN.
Yes.
So, but what we've seen is we've seen the growth and we've seen the statistical numbers been given out by the SWAC. I don't know if, Drew, you'd be better to tell. I don't know if the data and information that's been shared by Dr. McClellan at various points during this year has been shared about the SIC's network. And I'm referring to like the numbers and millions of visitors and viewers and all that stuff. But I will say every time Dr. McClellan has talked about the growth of SWAC TV, the numbers continue to grow. And he would almost kind of, with various outlets, he gave you a snippet of, hey, we're getting this many millions of viewers. He talked about it sometime around November. And then he came back again in maybe February and talked about more growth. And then he came back again in April and told you more growth. And so much growth to the point where the SWAC was able to get a major partnership or almost a partner media equity deal, which from a long-term perspective will eventually give the SWAC equity in businesses that will be advertising on the SWAC, thus increasing the value of the SWAC itself and the member institutions. And so it's pretty bold and it's pretty impressive over the first year. But I think it's been a game changer. Drew, what's your thoughts?
It has been a game changer. I mean, you remember, Brian, 3-4 years ago when I always have to put out the where to watch because our games were all over the place.
Yeah.
Now you really don't have to do that anymore. Let's think about it. You know you're going to have some games on Plus.
Right.
Then you're going to have the game of the week on Go.
Yep.
After you get past those two, where are you going to go, Brian? You're going to go to your conference streaming platform. SIAC Network, CIAA Network, SWAC TV, MEAC. I need you to come on. I need you to come on into the digital age, MEAC. I need you to come on. But a lot of the MEAC games are on Plus, though. So, I just need, it as a consumer of football or basketball or baseball, whatever it is, it makes it so much easier. It was so easy last year when I was in the press box before one of our games or after one of our games doing what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I got somebody's game on the iPad. Hell, I might even have the game on the iPad during the game, but obviously I'm not watching it because I'm working, but I'm glancing over. I am glancing over. And every now and then I would announce certain scores in the stadium if I was at home. Or sometimes when I was on the road, I would slip and slide the PA person a piece of paper. Hey, here go the score from so-and-so and so-and-so game. So, but it keeps us more engaged, Brian. And what is it all about now? Is it about butts in the seats or is it about eyeballs? And there's there's that debate. And people of our age and older, we still tend to want to be there. But the younger generation, they fine watching it on here, Brian.
Yeah.
They are fine watching it on here. They Applecast it to their TV if they're home, but most of the time we so much on the go. This is the best that we do. And that's cool. Because now I can do it.
I think the phone generation, as we call them, need to be enticed to want to come to the stadium, which I think is a main point of one of the recent decisions that the SWAC made was as a conference to commit to everybody and say, I saw that too, right? I saw that. That only guy is a screensaver of himself. That is the most.
That way I know my phone when I grab it.
That is the most love me, tell me about me thing I've ever seen. You can wrap that up around. I don't want to lose my phone all you want. Whatever. No, but the SWAC making the decision to say, hey, we're not going to play sub Division II opponents. Meaning we want to create opportunities for games that fans want to. I mean, we're only talking about nobody has outside of Jackson State, nobody has a stadium bigger than about 25, right? So we're talking stadiums that range between 15 to 25, except for Jackson State. Okay, outlier. But I bet even them would probably trade in that big 50,000, 55,000 seat stadium for an on-campus of 40. I'm just saying. I bet maybe. But, giving people an opportunity to watch the game, there's nothing that will replace the atmosphere of going. But, man, everybody can't be in Jackson, Mississippi on a Saturday. Everybody can't be in Baton Rouge. Everyone can't be
Yes, you can,
in
Brian.
Tallahassee.
Yes, you can. Right here.
Well, I'm saying physically you can't.
Okay.
Right? Physically, because of whatever reason. Gas, travel, hotels, airline fares, okay? But yes, because of that phone and because of that streaming platform, we can be there virtually. And now it's the game changer. Now every university has to be prepared to run advertisements about their university. Those commercials that you guys run at Morehouse, in between commercials, every school's got to run those. every school has to be prepared to have their video production school or their video production people in place ready to run these broadcasts, competent broadcasters, quality audio, quality visual. This is the game changer that can make up in a small portion. It can make up for the lack of NIL
Small
or rev
portion,
sharing.
Brian? Small portion?
You think bigger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It can be. Because if I'm talking to a soft drink company, you know, Brian, the days of me selling you the wall placement on the fence are over, Brian. Because only so many people are going to see that. But I'll sell you that 30-second spot on the stream. I'll sell you that video on the video board.
Well,
along with the ad reads and everything else.
You're going to get it.
And it's about one word, Brian. It's about impressions.
Right.
At that stadium, you're only going to get 15,000 impressions. How many impressions am I getting on here, Brian?
Right.
So I think the key thing that we need to bring out in this is of all the conferences that have their own network right now, the SWAC by far from a conference level is doing the best to monetize their network and selling advertising.
Right. They're doing the best. Yes, they are.
Hands down. So what becomes of that revenue is the next question. Also, Brian, last thing. Now, we've got football. We've got basketball. Now it's time to get into the Olympic sports and make sure that those student athletes get their opportunity to be seen. Now it's time to make sure our coaches shows are on our network.
Highlight packages.
Damn, Brian, you took the next one out my mouth.
Highlights, please. God.
Please. Can I get the 10-minute recap of the game?
I'll take 5, but give me 10 gladly.
Those are the type
if you only want to give me scoring plays, give me scoring plays, whatever.
And I'm spinning this because you follow this up. You follow this up with your reels on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and everything else to create a media presence to make our conferences even more exciting than we know that they are.
Mm-hmm. For people who aren't familiar with the term impression, Drew, it's a phrase that I became first familiar with it through print and then later web. But an impression, define it, if you would, for Edwin or anyone else out there who might not know what an impression means.
How many eyeballs are on your product? Potential eyeballs are on your product. Whether you read it or not, Edwin, when you driving down interstate, whatever, interstate 20, interstate 10, where whichever one runs through where you're at, when you ride past that billboard, and whether you look at that billboard or not, that's counted as an impression by that advertising company. Yep. And they sell it. They know 50,000 cars pass through this intersection every day. And we've got this billboard right here. That's 50,000 impressions that we have. You hope as an advertiser that a certain percentage of those impressions, those people riding past that billboard or whatever, look into your product, and then a smaller percentage of those actually utilizes your product.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about, getting the word out. So, but on the surface, the impressions are eyeballs on your product.
There it is. Good stuff. All right, so there's the next 5 in our list. Oh, and I'll make a prediction about this story. I think this story will be higher up next year.
Which number 16.
Yeah, this media growth. Like, I think what we see next year, 26, 27 from SWAC TV, SIEC network. Hell, I think, put it like this: if I'm the SIEC network, if I'm the CIAA network, I'm taking a page out what the SWAC said. I want people to know what the numbers are.
Hell, I'm Morehouse and I'm watching what the SWAC does, and I'm doing it on a smaller scale
because it could lead to dollars. Let people know what kind of views you're getting, because your alums are watching. They're watching. Promote more. Let people know that they can get the SIEC network or the CIAA network on their streaming platforms. Come on now.
ROI,
return on investment. Okay, so again, the top.
Let's start from 25 down and give them all.
Lord, 25 down. Let me see. Do I have?
I got the other 5.
Okay, start from 25. Go, Drew.
I had it.
You said you had the other 5. I was like,
all right. Starting from 25 down. Well, it's 21, 22. What the other 3 go? All right, 25. Was the Florida A&M run.
Golf.
Florida A&M run in golf with the multiple championships, including the PGA Works and other HBCU themed tournament. The number 24, the controversy at the Red Lobster, Band of the Year, along with the growth of the event. Number 23, the multiple bids earned by Division II HBCUs in men's and in women's basketball. Number 22, Larry Dixon's first year success at Morehouse. And number 21, the Unified Black College Football Poll, the announcement of that for the upcoming year. Brian, start us off with number 20.
Number 20 was the MEAC SWAC Challenge, remaining as the HBCU football's front porch, even though this year, for the first time, there will be 21 games or I should say 20 other games on the same day, on August 29th. So it'll be an interesting watch to see what it looks like for the MEAC SWAC Challenge going forward. Number 19 was the debate for the best non-Division I baseball team between Edward Waters University of the SIEC and Talladega College of the HBCU AC. Number 18 was the SWAC All Sports Championship debates between Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman, and Alabama State, and maybe FAMU. But anyway, Jackson State, the overall champion, the first overall champion since expansion in the SWAC to win the all sports and not win either the men or women sports championship. Number 17, Winston-Salem State women's basketball championship run is one of the best stories in HBCU sports team. Definitely the best women's sports program, as the Rams had an outstanding season, 28-4, 13-0 at home, a CIAA championship for the first time, and a great turnaround from 7 wins a year ago to 28 for Coach Terry. Bigger and better things are up ahead. And story number 16 was the HBCU media growth thanks to the first year of SWAC TV and the SIEC network.
So now next week, 11 through 15, everybody, let me get back to. Let me ask a couple questions from Edwin. Yes, Edwin, likes, comments, and etc. and clicks are counted as impressions because in order for you to click, like, or comment, you have to see it. So that is counted. Those are counted as impressions. And Edwin, you're gonna have to stay tuned for the next 3 weeks to see if this story makes our top 25, Edwin.
Spoiler alert. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a tease. That's a professional tease.
Yeah, professional tease. Good job, Drew. All right. Man, it's been a long show. Appreciate you guys. You know, it's fun. It doesn't feel long when you're having a good time. And so we appreciate all of you hanging in there with us.
Overtime.
Yeah, overtime. So we got more stories. If you got some story ideas that you think should be part of our top 25, you can go ahead and hit us up on the social media accounts. Of course, you know how to reach us. You can always drop a note in the comments, whether it be on Facebook or on YouTube, or you can hit us up on the social media, Twitter or Instagram, wherever you see us. We'll take a look and see if your story is part of the next 15. Also, one last call. If you're a podcast listener, podcast watcher, go check out the BCSN Pod Zone everywhere that you listen to podcasts. BCSN Pod Zone.
Bryan, this was for you.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ed. And it's time to go. Let's pick it up and get out of here, Drew, before somebody gets us in trouble. Hit the thumbs up and the like button if you haven't done so already. Don't be that guy or gal. Thank you to everybody who's watching us in replay. And for AD Drew, I'm Bryan Fulford. Thanks again for being a part of the show. Especially you guys did a good job in the chats. And we will see you next week. Same time, same bat channel. Peace out.
Travel light, everybody. We'll holler.
You stay on